Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet around the world. My name is Gregg Prescott. Thanks for joining me on this Saturday evening. And if you were with me just a few minutes ago as well for our last chat, just did a show on Saturn, the cult of El. Here it is Saturday, Saturn Day. Today is the first day of our weekend. Well, I guess you could consider Friday, although most people work on Friday. But the first full day of the weekend, where we are weekend throughout the week. So we weekend. It's just a play on words, right? Today, I'd like to ask you guys to check out n5d.net. It's where you get these amazing tie-dye shirts that help support the channel. Any purchase is greatly appreciated. That's n5d.net, as well as our Patreon page. That's patreon.com/n5d. Matter of fact, for those subscribers of 1111 or more, that's why I made this chat at 7:15 instead of 7, because I told you guys in the last broadcast that I would be uploading the mid-month energy report. So you guys got a little surprise after this video, because it's going to be there waiting for you. All right. So thank you to everyone that subscribes on Patreon as well. And the mid-month energy report will only be seen there this month. One thing I do want to share with you guys, and then I'll just open it up real quick. This is funny as hell. Okay, I got to do a screen share on this. So I was watching a video on the worst tattoos like ever. And here's I'm gonna have a hard time getting through this. Here's a tattoo of Benjamin Franklin, right? And it says "Money Talks" below, and that's supposed to be this picture, right, of Benjamin Franklin. This is like the older version of the $100 bill here in the United States. So somebody got somebody got creative and made this $100 bill. Imagine if our Imagine if our $100 bill looked like that. Oh my God, that's funny as F. Oh God, I got tears in my eyes. All right, time out. I know it's stupid and it's silly, but man, that's funny. Okay, let's stop that. Anyway, our chat room is wide open. Everyone is unmuted. If you want to join in, feel free to.
Hi.
Hi, who do we have?
Maria. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it is Maria, by the way, not Maraja or Marja.
Okay. All right.
Maria.
All right, Maria, there is a way on the lower, I don't know if you're on a laptop or a
I'm
cell
on my
phone.
cell phone.
Okay, I think on the bottom, it was explained that there's a way of actually getting your picture up if you want it up.
Oh dear God. Yeah, I'm waxing. Sorry.
There you go. Hey, you made it. So thank you for joining us. This is your first time that you're actually chatting with us here. So thank you for joining us. Are you muted?
on purpose. No.
Okay. Where are you from?
Kansas.
Okay.
I got my son one of your shirts, and I must say he absolutely loves it and now wants to wear it all the time.
Good. Good. That's awesome. Thank you for supporting us here on
Oh, yeah.
in5D and in5D.net. They are amazing shirts. I can't
Yes,
wait
sir.
to make the next batch.
He is hooked on your show too. So that's my
Oh,
bad.
that's awesome. How old is your son?
Getting ready to turn 18.
That's great.
Going on, I swear, maybe 30, 40, 50. So
How is it that he gets it at such a young age?
he's always grown up with it. So it's just the way he's always been.
Yeah. It's
Be
like my
it
daughter. Yeah.
seeing auras and everything, and it was just part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught him to embrace it, not run from it. So
Awesome. Good mom.
sometimes
No, I'm
I
sure
think
you
we
are.
all feel that way.
Yeah, my daughter, her mother she's metaphysical. She does the tarot. Her mother did tarot and runes, and she does tarot and runes and stuff like that. So, on her mom's side, she has the metaphysical. Obviously, on my side, I see things before they happen, and so does my daughter. So, it's great when you have metaphysical kids that already get it.
Oh yeah, huge.
Mhm.
It's a huge difference compared to other kids,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't have to worry near as much, I think. At
What
least
about
I don't.
what about his friends? Does he have friends that are awakened, or does he work around
um
that?
he works around that.
Yeah, I
He
think
has
that's the
maybe
safest thing.
one who's on the verge, but still dabbling in the witchcraft type area. Then he'll get there eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Everyone will, right?
oh yeah.
So what led to your awakening, Maria?
um I don't really know. I always kind of just grew up with a lot of the belief systems and openness, and I don't really have a pinpoint, if that makes sense.
Well, were your parents awakened? And I mean,
Yes and
something.
no.
Yeah.
My dad was, well, very, I don't know the words, eclectic, but like we had grandparents that were American Indian or Native American, whichever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I grew up with that belief system with a Baptist church. And then I moved from church to church going, okay, this can't be right. you know, and my dad supported it. He said basically learn every single religion out there and look at it as it's a jumbo building you're looking at different rooms, different windows, different points of view to the same building.
Mhm.
And I went with it. So
So what did you learn from all those, just
um,
searching for religion and finding, what did you find?
to follow my heart, whatever felt right, whatever rings a bell, whatever gives me goosebumps and goes, that's right.
Just curious, are you Christian? Do you go to church every weekend or
I
every
avoid
Sunday?
church like the plague. My sister used to say I'd burn up, but I have my own issues with, you know, that
Yeah. Yeah.
background.
No, no, it's not really issues. It's them having issues with your beliefs more so than anything else. Because
A bit of both.
I
I
find,
actually was molested in my church when I was little,
oh,
and they were really bad at that at our church. And actually, all the congregation of kids got molested. And because it was small town USA, that was expected. It's not spoke of. It's just that's how it is. And I'm like, no, churches can't all be like that. So that was the start of my quest, along with how can you mix American Indian beliefs with this? It doesn't mix well.
Well, you know, you look at the Roman Catholic Church and all the pedophilia that's going on there, and it's
Oh
really
yeah.
not surprising when you see it, you know, in smaller, you know, the macrocosm and the microcosm are identical. But as for what you were saying about the American Indian, you know, the Hopi are the ones I believe that said, you know, we are the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, we are the ones that we have been waiting for, right?
Yeah. True.
So instead of giving your power and energy away to the church, believing it that a savior is going to come down and save you, you're the one that you have been waiting for. I'm the one. We are all the ones that we have been waiting for. We're reclaiming that power. I think that that's what this age is about, is reclaiming our power, our energy, instead of giving it away.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm muting myself for a second. I'm dealing with a cat.
Okay. So Rob and Gary, you guys going to talk today?
Actually, I have just been taking care of a few things I had to take care of. I had to feed my cats. It's that time. If I don't, they'll be like clawing my chair for the next hour. So, yeah, really. But you know, I'm I know who's in charge around here. Anyway, no, I'm you know just listening in, and you know, I'm thinking, you know, God didn't create religion. The creator source didn't create religion. Man created religion in order to control people and to get rich. That's, you know, I mean, all these great ideas, you know, that come along, like socialism, supposed to be this wonderful thing. Well, it would be if it actually worked, but I spent some time in East Germany, in East Berlin, you know, back in the 80s. And I can tell you the difference between West Berlin and East Berlin, it was day and night. West Berlin, everybody was happy, music, light, sound, party 24/7. East Berlin, nobody smiled, everybody looked down, it was drab. Everybody drove the same Trablant cars. It was just nothing but a rolling smoke screen. And, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean, if we actually held to the ideas that everybody contributes to the common good, which is, I think, what we're moving towards as a species, as a, you know, world, as long as some people don't try to get over and try to abuse the system and try to use it to their advantage, I think that's where we fall by the wayside and things like that. And you know, I'm not so much a churchgoer. I did say I was probably going to attend a Unity church here in Birmingham. It's a spiritual church. They start with meditation. They welcome everybody, you know, that kind of a place. I just like getting together with other spiritual people because, you know, that's why I'm here tonight, you know, is connecting with you guys. And, you know, I just want to actually connect with some people in the flesh, you know? And so that's kind of like where I'm at right now.
You know, I've mentioned on previous shows that when you have these synchronicities, for example, if you're passively listening or if you're just listening to anything and you just happen to be writing or typing down something and somebody says a word that's not, you know, that's kind of like a different word. And as you're writing or typing that word, and I was just writing down a little note about what you were talking about because it reminded me of something, this video I have called the Global Unity Project. And as I was writing down Unity, you mentioned Unity Church. So it's just one of those synchronicities too.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is accidental. Everything, you know, happens for a reason, I believe, you know. And so, I mean, it's just like, it's just a way of confirming that, you know, I think we're trying to follow our highest calling and, you know, live a heart-centered life now is what I think humanity's moving towards, you know, is that, I mean, I kind of started on a spiritual journey in 85 when I was medically discharged out of the army. And I started, let's just say, experiencing some strange things, but I wasn't coming from my heart. I was actually like, oh, wow, this is really cool. You mean I could actually do this kind of stuff? And it kind of led me into a dark area, and it took me a long time to get out of that and get back into into the good part, the light part. So
What was it
that's
that specifically got you back into the light part? Something lifted you from a dark point to a light point.
well, I believe in a way. I mean, I have always felt connected to spirit. I've always felt connected to something, even when I was a little kid, and I mean, like I say, I did go through, unfortunately, a traumatic event when I was 5 that kind of warped the way I looked at the world around me and myself. And yet somehow, no matter what, I always knew that I was here for a reason. So, I mean, the suicide thing, it was just never even really, I never even considered it really, because I just knew that wasn't what I was here for. I'm here for something. And, I did have luckily I had a major spiritual awakening in 2014 when I was at a lake house, and it was the unconditional love sweeping over me. Like you talk about your vision of the event. Well, this is sort of like my vision of it. It just seemed like all of a sudden the clouds opened up, the sun burst through, and I just felt this upswelling of love in my heart for everything like I had never done before. And for the 15 or 20 minutes that it lasted, I was ecstatic. And ever since then, I'm trying to get back there. I want to get back to that heart-centered, open heart feeling. Because
Did you ever figure out what your life purpose was?
well, like I say, I do a lot of, I do tarot myself. I've kind of like, taught myself how to do that, just getting on things like in 5D and reading about things like that, and it tells me that I'm supposed to help my peers. I think I'm supposed to help my peers when the big shift comes. I'm supposed to help them stay grounded and connected. And, I'm supposed to be a way shower is what I think is what really I'm here for. And, I didn't volunteer. I don't know. I just know I've always tried to duck this. I never wanted to like shine, to like stand out, to be, but I have to put all that aside now. And I just, just can't be afraid of any consequences, because my heart's telling me this is what I need to do. And this is what I'm going to do. And I'm slowly working there, like tonight, for supper, I'm just having fruit. I love it. I mean, I just ate a pear right when you started, and I'm like, man, this is like nature's candy. I've never had a pear taste this good before, And I mean, I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to what it tells me. When it's time to rest, I rest. The biggest lesson I've learned is, as an empath, and I am an empath, that I've got to not let other people's energies like contaminate my own personal space. And it's a hard lesson. I mean, like I say, I look back on the patterns of my life, and I've always been the kind of guy that I didn't really think anybody would really be interested in me romantically, because I was really heavily bullied when I was a small child. I was very fat. Anyway, it still blows me away, that I have been thinking wrong about myself, and I've brought everything that's happened to me. I brought it into my life. I created it myself. And I've just learned, we are co-creators of our own reality. And you really, I mean, your admonishings to kind of like guard your thoughts and be careful about what you're thinking about, what you're putting your energy into. I mean, all I'm thinking about now is, this wonderful thing that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a wonderful, beautiful, phenomenal event. And after that, the world will be unrecognizable. And we're just going to, like be here for each other, I think.
Well, and no pun intended, but don't beat yourself up over this. But it's possible that in a previous lifetime, you were the bully, and that karma's already done. Now that you had that, you experienced it, it's done. it's over with, move on. So it's, you know, you paid that karmic debt, and time to let it go, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I've realized that now, and it's just you know, I mean, I in the last couple of weeks on chats and stuff, when we were, you know, we've been on talking on Patreon and everything, I've really been struggling with letting go. And, you know, last night, it's just like all of a sudden, I just felt like, okay, it's time. And I just exhaled, and, you know,
Let me
I
ask you this.
send everybody love and light, you know, that's involved. But,
Let me
you
ask you
know,
this,
It's
because
amazing
you're
how
on
that inner
these
child
chats.
just hangs on.
You're on these chats a lot, and you've noticed a lot of the same things I've noticed with these chats. On the nights that we have chats like this, I always have like the most amazing dreams. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just picking up the collective energy of everyone.
I think it is. I mean, you know, I don't really remember my dreams, but I know now when I wake up that I'm dreaming good dreams. I'm not dreaming dark dreams. I'm dreaming light dreams. I mean, I know I'm dreaming that I'm flying. I'm not falling. I'm flying, you know? I used to dream of falling a lot when I was a little kid, you know, like falling off a cliff and just plummeting. Now, I don't know, you know, everybody keeps talking about movies that influenced them. A movie that influenced me was Terry Gilliam's Brazil. And the main character, Sam, he does that. He does lucid dreaming where he's flying in a mechanical suit. And I mean, it's just an interesting movie in that a lot of people thought it had a sad ending because the main character was captured and basically tortured by the government until he, you know, lost his mind. But in his mind, he got away, and he's living happily ever after with his heroine. So it actually had a happy ending because in his mind, everything worked out, and everything's mental. So a weird thing to talk about, I guess.
I was asking you about the whole, you know, finding your purpose. And, you know, some people, honestly, they don't need to have a specific purpose other than just to hold the energy, to be that beacon of light.
I think that's also all of us in this group. I mean, all of us here. I think we are that. We're the way showers. We're the light workers. We're supposed to be the beacon that helps others when, you know, all of a sudden everything starts collapsing around them that they're not familiar with. And you know, we just have to trust our hearts and do what we think is right. You know. You know, I coming from a military government background, you know, I'm a kind of a rule following kind of guy, but now I'm thinking, you know what, rules, you know, the only rule we really need is do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. You know, that's the rule I think we need to have. And as long as we're not hurting anybody else, what does it matter, you know?
I agree. Yeah, all laws should be just gone except universal laws. As long as you're not hurting yourself or others, let it go, right?
Yeah, because I mean, it's why get upset over something you have no control over? You can't control anybody else. You can only control really the way you react to what happens to you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
we're joined by, we have actually videos, three other people other than Gary and myself. We have Rhonda and Desiree and Maria. So if you guys want to jump in anytime, you're more than welcome to.
What are we talking about today?
Open forum, whatever. You know, we started out talking about just anything, life purpose, beacons of light, Unity Church. Open forum, whatever. What led to your awakening?
Out talking about just anything, life purpose.
Matthew, you have to. I'm going to mute you. You have to shut off your computer, your YouTube video, because we're ahead in time here on Zoom. We're in the future.
Put your headset on.
Yeah, and
hey, Mark's in here.
It was in the past. Yeah, he was. He left a message. He said that his YouTube video appears frozen and buffering. He can't stay today, Saturn day. So he probably saw the last video, but the chat still loads on YouTube. Okay, so yeah. Appreciate that.
You know, I was interested with the first gal that came on. She was talking about she stays away from church with a 10-foot pole, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
My parents have stuck me into all sorts of different kinds of Christian schools growing up. So I went into Catholic, Mormon, Seventh-day Adventist, and Christian. And the Catholic one is what was the deal breaker, and then I ended up in public schools, which was yay. It was a little crazy. So I had 4 years of craziness. It was kind of cool. I got to learn what they believed. And the one thing that I did notice, it was so funny too, like in the Seventh-day Adventist school, my teacher, oh, that man. I used to challenge him so hard because of what the Bible actually said. And I always had, but it says this, what do you mean? You know, especially when you're talking about Genesis. That's when you really come into your own power. Knowing within inside yourself that, you know what? I believe some stuff. I think the Bible is there to teach you on how to live. There's a lot of fear-based control with it, which I wasn't keen to. It used to piss me off, actually. It's just like, well, if this is a merciful God, then why all of this? So I had a lot of questions, and I grew up. I just kind of went into my own. And when I started having children, I allowed them to kind of make their own decisions. They went to church. We were very, very open with how I believe, but that's not what you believe. And I taught them how to create energy, the energy in their hands, the energy balls, and we would throw them around. And you know when you catch one. You know when you catch one because it lights up your entire arm like a lightning bolt. You know, she had some very interesting stuff. Really cool to see our children growing up, having children of their own. I don't know. They call them star seeds. Maybe they are. They're so smart.
Yeah.
They're smarter than we were when we were kids. It's so incredible. Just like with the gentleman before me, his story. You know, I was really confused for a really long time because my path and my journey after my divorce has brought me to so many states and so many different jobs to where I was placed there for a reason, and it changed. I changed everything like a catalyst, like a catalyst for change. Everyone around me changes except I stay the same. It's like, whoa. So I'm kind of curious to see, obviously, when a door closes and another opens, and I just follow it. I don't question. I'm here now, and I've got a new business startup coming, and I'm really curious to see. I'm really curious to see what the hell for. I really am, because if I told you stories of the past 14 years, you just kind of look at me. I don't know. I just kind of follow it and see, because I've been helping. I feel like Cain. You remember watching Cain when we were kids? He travels the earth and does all this weird stuff, and that's kind of what I feel like. And, you know, I don't worry about money.
Maria's shaking her head. Yes, she understands what you're saying.
I don't worry about money. It just comes. I'm fully taken care of. And my purpose, I have no idea, but I know that I'm supposed to help. And I don't shy away from it. And this is probably the most I've spoken about all of this in a very, very long time, because unless you're around people that understand exactly what you're saying, it's very hard to describe how you're feeling inside about what you've been through. You know, like I'm 48 now, and I still feel mentally inside my body like I'm a kid. I'm still the same person. It's so weird. It's weird to see the reflection change every single year and all the gray hairs growing into your eyebrows and, the veinness coming out. It's like, oh, wrinkles, so.
When did you awaken?
Huh?
When did you awaken?
I've always been, like I said, the last Zoom meeting, it started when I was 3 and it's never stopped. So I've just continually grown. I knew I was different. My mom called me different. I just knew things, and I would shock my family members, and it really set me aside because of the Christian values and the Christian views that they had. My dad, he didn't really give a shit. Mom was she was the Bible. She was the matriarch, if you will, in the family. And so to be as different in the family as I was, with the gifts that I possessed, and it wasn't just one, it's many. She was very unforgiving, almost like jealous in a way, the way that she treated me, because we get along really well when we're together. But when she's around other family members, I'm the one that's going to hell. So it's kind of whatever, in a couple months she'll come around. And it's kind of been that way my whole life. So I've always just kind of been the lone soul one in the family. And I'm okay with that because I like who I am. I don't know why I was born like this, but I don't question it really anymore. The kids they are amazed every single time I do this. And they're amazed at I just kind of shrug my shoulders and it's like, I don't know, that's where Spirit's taking me this time. So we'll see what happens. We'll have fun.
How old are your kids?
Let's see. 24, 25, 28, 32,
Okay.
I think. Something like that. I don't know. I did my daughter's taxes for her last year. She was a little mad. I got her birth date wrong. So.
How can you do that?
Yeah, I got the year wrong.
Oh,
Mom! Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My daughter, she's 25. She was asking me about recipes for banana bread. And so I gave her this gluten-free recipe that's really good. And she made it today and she sent me a picture of it, but she had to go to work before she could even try it. So, but it looks fantastic. I'm so proud of her.
You're going to eat the whole thing you watch.
I can't eat it, even though it's gluten-free. And, but I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe a slice.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks fantastic, though. She did an amazing job. I'm proud of her.
Oh, good.
It's my baby.
Yeah. I know my kids are phenomenal. And that's just it. So like, my parents, my mother's like 70, I don't know, 8. My dad just died at, I think 82 or 83. That era, and I'm not saying all, but that era, those parents shamed their children. A lot of those parents shamed their children. They didn't want their children to do better than them. They talked down to them. So as a parent myself, I am so immensely happy that my children every single one of them are thriving and doing so well. And it's about lifting them up. And that's what they're doing with their own kids. And that's what it's all about, is supporting your kids, your grandkids. I didn't have that growing up. It was very
It's part of what it's about. It's not, entirely, but yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Okay. And so Dolores Cannon, she says that we chose that. And maybe you were the mom and she was the daughter. Let's switch roles, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I used to just kind of fathom that in my head. And I'm like, well, God, why would you want to come back and choose to be an asshole? Like, really? To put your kids through that. So I have been like kind of a soul lone person through this journey. And obviously with my children, and they've got their own lives, and I, did the empty nesting for about 5 years, drove me crazy. And now that I'm just me, I don't really have anybody to worry about except for me, my dog, and my cat. But it's insane. This journey is just insane, and it's fun. And just having the ability to manifest with faith, knowing that it's coming through, I don't worry about it. And it's just kind of a trip how it all happens. And I just smile, just like when you were going through all that stuff. I think it was last year, Greg, you were living in Clearwater, I think it was, before you moved to where you are right now. You were going through a whole bunch of stuff. And man, and I knew you were Libra, and I was just like, nah, man, it's coming. You'll be okay.
No, I've been here in Sarasota the whole time, but I have gone through a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, life is just funny, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. So Matthew, welcome back.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. I see you're coming back as Matthew this time.
Yeah, I figured out a way to change the
Good.
name. I have that listed as something that resonated with me with what Rhonda was saying, being a catalyst and going into your jobs, and for some whatever reason you are there to change everything and you don't know why at that point. That's kind of what happened to me on that flight I was telling you guys about. And the reason why my name is that name is because actually out of that situation, other flight attendants came forward after I released a video on YouTube with similar situations, being wrongfully terminated for discrimination and things like that. And we're getting to the point of class action right now. And we got news media reaching out to us and everything. And I want to dabble in it? I mean, not really, but for some reason, I'm like that catalyst of change. I'm always on the front lines,
Do what you got to do.
Yep, exactly.
Do what your heart tells you to do,
So, yeah.
And you could do that lesson that someone else needs to learn. Someone else needs to learn a lesson through you, whether it be through the justice system or not. Sometimes that's what it takes, to bring others to an awakening as well. You never know,
Yep.
Well, you might be the catalyst to start a big movement of anti-discrimination against, things like that, wrongful termination, just because of who you are,
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, that's not going to work in the new world. So, it's got to go anyway. So,
yeah.
Kudos to you for doing that.
It's hard. I mean, there's days where I'm telling, because I put myself out there on YouTube, for everybody else at that point, because a lot of people are afraid to get on YouTube and things like that. Some of them are even afraid to talk to the news reporter that I'm working with right now. But it's kind of like there's days where I'm just like, I tell everybody, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, it's making me sick. It's making me ill. But at the same time, I still find myself just pushing through and keep on keeping on. The good fight is what I call it. And so it's been going through a lawsuit like this. You Google my name, trying to get a job right now in any other corporation, it's slim to none right now. So but I do have some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm flying up to Chicago on Tuesday. American Airlines is flying me up. I have a job interview with them, not as a flight attendant, but as a customer service manager analyst at Chicago O'Hare.
Well, good luck with that.
I think from what I'm reading with American Airlines, they said in their statement that they forgive people with criminal background history, and that they forgive people with, who are going through similar situations with me. So I feel like after our talks last week, Greg, I had crazy dreams that night. I mean, vivid dreams to where I was trying to pull something out of my dream into this physical world. I wanted to pull that situation out with me. And and then the next day I got a phone call out of the blue from American Airlines.
Wow.
got a phone call out of the blue, not even an email. I'm skipping the recruiting process and going straight to the hiring managers. So
it sounds like you're going to be in position to make a lot of positive changes and like improve everybody's, you know, situation and improve the energy at O'Hare. And I mean, wow, what a great place to be, because it's like the busiest airport, right?
Yeah, O'Hare's like the belly of the beast for all airlines.
is.
That in Atlanta, basically. But
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is great. What's great about that is American owns half and United owns half. And it's kind of like, not an F you to United's face, but it's kind of like, you know, this is the type of person you lost. This is who you gave up when you discriminated against. And, you know, it's just things like that. It's just like, it's all starting to make sense now why I've been on this legal battle for 2 years now.
You know, with Pluto and Capricorn, the light and the vibration of truth is just keeps increasing and increasing. So your lawsuit is going to win.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt. So stretch it out as long as you can, but not beyond 2023.
No. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I do hope that I get this job with American. I hope that they overlook everything from what's happened with me at United, which I think they're doing. I mean, they wouldn't invite me all the way up there.
It sounds like you've got the job. You just have to show up, which is awesome. I think, you know, wow, how good that's great. That is great.
They told me yesterday they'll wait for my itinerary. They'll be sending it to me. So it's been kind of 24 hours. So I'm kind of like, oh God, are they going to send me my itinerary? Because I only have 3 more days till Tuesday. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for like that talk the other night, because it opened up my third eye even more like than it was already open, just like from the dreaming, Greg. I mean, I had 3 vivid dreams that night about my aunts, but on the dream side, they were loving and caring like I remembered them when I was growing up. So it was, you know, something, and I remember trying to pull something. I kind of knew I was dreaming when I was dreaming, and knew that, you know, that I was also awake as well. It was kind of like I was in between dream state and awake state.
Something magical happens when we have these chats that, you know, we have all these people that are on. We have right now 70 people on YouTube that are watching. Just think of all the energy between Zoom and YouTube that's going on, that we're creating, co-creating, manifesting together. And when you bring all this energy together, we're all connected. These parts, wherever we are across the planet right now, are just lit up around the world. And it carries with us. We're picking up off of each other's energy. And at the end of the night, when we go to bed, we still have all that energy from everybody that we're feeling and picking up on.
Around the room.
I went to bed so happy that night. I was probably the happiest I've been in a very, very long time going to bed that night.
So to those people in YouTube, see what happens when you actually come on here and talk. So, come on over.
Yes,
Miracles
don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Come on over. We're all family. We're star seeds. We're, you know, like I think what Gary said, that we're gonna be the ones. And I think I told Rhonda this the other night. We're gonna be the ones to lift everybody up when they're so confused when the big event happens. And you know, I feel it's coming soon. I watch a lot of astrologers too on YouTube. And they're saying that there's I can't remember what planets are aligning, but they're exactly aligning how they were during 9/11. And when Greg, you said Tuesday being the day of like war and things like that, well, 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. And they're saying sometime this week or next week, this one guy he goes, be careful out there and look out for signs like 9/11. So, you know, and I'm flying on Tuesday, but I don't think it's going to be like that. But it's just, you know, something's gonna. What was that?
Well, you know, the bad side, the bad guys, they're not going to go quietly. They're going to go kicking and screaming. So they're probably going to do everything they can to distract us, you know. But from what I understand, what 9/11 actually did is it actually united the world in thinking about something. And I understand that during that time period, random number generators all started acting strangely because everybody's consciousness was focused on one thing, you know? So they got to be careful, because if they get us all focused on one thing, the lights are going to come on all over the world, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's already coming on, though. Already coming on.
I believe, you know, I think 9/11, it sucks that it happened, but I mean, what if it didn't happen? And, you know, will we be this far advanced in our spiritual awakening process right now? Or, you know, there's certain events that, you know, happened afterwards and things like that. Greg, I know you mentioned that, you know, you're not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm not either. But honestly, you know, like, I definitely not a Trump supporter, but we kind of needed him in office to get to where we're at right now to help with this awakening. You know, I don't like the man. I can't stand him, but I feel like maybe we do need another 4 years. I think we do need another 4 years so people can really start to wake up.
I think Gregg is right. I think around June, all of a sudden, a lot of sealed indictments are going to start popping up now. Like, you know,
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are going to be finally held accountable that have gotten away with literally murder for decades. You know, they're going to be held accountable,
and who knows, maybe he is a good person and he is supposed to be here to help the consciousness, but who knows? We don't know, but all I know is he's there for a reason, and I don't think without him we would be this far in our spiritual awakening. A lot of the collective, that is. Really, I think it's just part of the whole
on both sides
breaking down.
There was something that happened on the day that he was elected. I was still with my girlfriend at the time, and we went to bed before the results were in. We had no idea, and neither one of us voted, so it didn't really matter at that time. But when I woke up the next morning, I felt the shift. I felt something had changed magnanimously in the collective. And when she woke up, I said, "Do you feel that?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, and then we found out that Trump won. I didn't even think about that. It's like that's what it was, but I felt it before I actually saw the results. But there was a huge shift. So whether you love him or hate him, it was done in the right interest.
He's a catalyst.
Otherwise, the impeachment that they tried to push on him would have gone through. And only that which is in the highest vibration of truth, love, and light is allowed to exist with Pluto and Capricorn right now. So it shows you that whatever the left was doing with this impeachment BS that they're trying to push on them, it's not in the highest good for humanity. So whether you love him or hate him, it doesn't, you know, like I said, I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat, but I know things shifted once he was elected. And this June, I'm feeling this June is when these 150,000 sealed indictments are going to be unsealed, and it's going to rock.
It's already up there. Oh my God.
I remember, Greg, too, about, you know, how you said the next day that you felt the shift. I didn't vote either, but I was working a flight, and I was actually laying over in Guam. And so I watched the election. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon Guam time. So I was already the next day ahead. So I was kind of in the future already. But I remember when I went to sleep that night, woke up in the morning to fly back to Honolulu and then to San Francisco. I'll tell you what, that van ride to the airport in Guam was weird. It was just the silence, you could just feel. I mean, I felt it. I don't know if everybody else on my flight did, but a lot of flight attendants are empathic people. You have to be to do that job. Trust me, you have to be very empathic to do that job. And it was just it was very just real, just a real moment that, you know, that I experienced too, Greg.
On YouTube, Claudette is saying the same thing. She felt the same thing. She said she told her daughter the same thing, and she's Canadian, but she felt the whole world collective on that day as well.
Shipping. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was so
I stayed
excited.
up to watch the results because, you know, I really, for some reason, I thought that, you know, even though they said he only had like a 5% chance that something historic was going to happen. And, you know, I still
I
can't
think that's being
believe,
generous, the 5%. I think it was less than that.
yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, it was like he had no chance in hell, and all of a sudden, wham, you know. And I remember when Hillary finally gave her concession speech, she did give the obligatory "give him a chance to lead" type speech, but that only lasted for about a month, and then wham, you know.
Yeah, they've been tearing after him ever
But,
since.
I think he'll be, you know, I really think it's going to be a landslide because, I mean, you know, the economy is
So.
just booming, you know. I hate to say it, but it is. And, you know,
Why would you hate to say that?
well,
The economy's booming. I hate to say
no,
it.
the economy's booming, and it's, you know, it proves that maybe having a businessman running the country sometimes is a good idea, you know.
I could see
Not
why
a politician.
I would say that, because we shouldn't be economic slaves to a broken system of currency.
We
Fiat
shouldn't be. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'll be so glad when money is no longer relevant, you know. I mean, cause the only reason I like it now is I like, you know, when I have it, I try to use it to help people, you know. I mean, like I donate to charities and all kinds of stuff, you know. But hopefully when the event happens, you know, maybe people will be compassionate, and all of a sudden all of the animal shelters will be emptied because everybody will be out adopting animals because we'll be able to communicate with them, you know.
Could you imagine that, going by a shelter, hearing all the animals, please, please?
I would have to pull over. I would have to, you know.
I'd adopt every one of them. I could
Get
feel
a
so
broken
guilty.
person.
I mean, the only reason I ever wanted to win the lottery was so I could buy a big ranch and go out to empty animal shelters and bring everything to the ranch, you know, and just let them live.
I saw a video on Facebook about some guy that he didn't win the lottery, but man, he owns a lot of property, and that's all he does is rescue dogs, and they all follow him like he's the proverbial Jesus.
Well, you know, to them he is.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
the aura
he
too.
saved
Dogs
them,
can
you
see
know.
people's auras.
He
Like,
walked in and he parted the cage, and boom, they're free now, you know. So to them he is.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, Matthew, if dogs could see people's auras, you know. And well, obviously they can sense things on people, whether you're a good person or a bad person, you know. They'll growl at somebody that is
Yeah.
negative or has like a nasty looking aura.
yeah, I can walk by a pit bull like natural. The pit bull won't come up to me, but the pit bull, I remember I was at the flea market with my mom last weekend, and we were walking by this pit bull, and the pit bull she goes, look, he's just staring right at you, Matt, just staring at you. And as I'm walking away with my mom, I'm looking back, and the dog's just staring at me. They know when good people, spiritual people are around, because I think Dolores Cannon said that the animal kingdom is a group consciousness, and the animals don't gain individuality until an owner or someone takes it in, gives them a name, gives them a personality, and then the next lifetime they can come back as an individual
As a person.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
individual.
that's what I heard too.
Gosh, why would you want to?
I've always gotten along so good with animals and with kids. It's just always adults I've had, you know, I can't deal with. But I mean, there were times I'd be driving like in Texas, you know, going from A to B and pull over somewhere. And I pulled over in this farmer's yard once by accident and opened the door, and I was going to go ask where I was. And this dog just ran up and just laid its head in my lap, and it wouldn't go. And I had to sit there and pet it for about 15 minutes before it would let me get out of the car. You know, I mean, I just seem to, you know.
I was at a dog park one time when this Doberman and pit bull got in a fight, and the owners were nowhere around. And I went and grabbed the dog. I knew the dogs, but I still grabbed them, and it was holding them apart. And I was yelling for the owners to come get their dogs. And meanwhile, I have a German Shepherd, and I told him to stay, which he did, fortunately. And they all had like, because they knew I wasn't out to hurt them, and they wanted each other. They were like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." I'm just like holding them apart. But it was kind of crazy. But yet had I not intervened, they probably would have tore each other up. Fortunately, their owners weren't too far away, and they came and got their dogs. Everything got resolved, but I'm not going to allow dogs to do that. And
Yeah.
if you're going into something like that, and you don't have that fear, the dogs are going to realize that as well. If you're fearing that, you're thinking you're going to get bit, chances are you're going to get bit. So it happens. Dogs have that sense, though. They know if you're, what I was there to do was to help, not hurt. It's not like I was swinging at them or anything.
You're the alpha owner, so
Yeah.
they knew the difference.
So we are lighting up the collective consciousness right now. This is exciting. Just having these kind of chats, bringing it out there. I'm posting the link right now, which will be disappearing if you're watching this on the recorded version. I got this crystal ball in my hand. I like this because it's kind of cloudy. I like the ones that are cloudier than pure crystal, but just kind of like hold on to it when I chat, roll it in my hands. So I guarantee you guys have crystals somewhere near you. Reach over and find the closest crystal and show me what you got.
You know what the weirdest thing was? The day before I left Arizona, and I never do this. I never give away my crystals like that. I had a crystal, the amethyst, around my neck, and this younger kid, I don't know, he's in his 20s. I call him a kid because I'm old, but he was having some serious pain going on, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I just pulled it off my neck and I put it around him. I could feel that he had a tear in his aura along his lower back, but it was more around the kidney area. I don't have any crystals; they're all in storage.
Well, Gary, what do you got there? You've been putting up a couple things there.
Yeah, I always carry a bag of a lot of crystals. I have several that I, like that are recommended for empaths, like rose quartz and hematite and amherst and a few other things in here to kind of help me. And of course, I've always got my orgone pyramids on either side of me here. And I found a couple of clear quartz pyramids and a little bitty amherst pyramid. So, I mean, and also, thanks to Gregg tipping us on how to kind of clean, how to clear the energy from your crystals and things like that, and your things you carry with you. I did put them out in the moonlight, the last full moon, even though, well, I put them out where I thought the moonlight would be. It was cloudy, and I figure it's still going to work. It's still the energy coming in.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that. And having those things kind of cleaned out makes a difference every now and then,
Yeah. What you got there, Desiree?
Oh, sorry. It's a clear crystal quartz. It's pretty big.
Okay. Oh, nice. Very nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's double terminated too, right? Or not?
Just about. It's not all the way, but yeah.
Awesome.
But she does, have some, little windows in here. But there's an angel in here. I don't know if you can see her when you look in.
No, I can't.
I don't know.
That is beautiful, though.
That's cool. That's a great crystal, though.
You can see it right there.
There she is.
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
That's cool.
A friend
Definitely
gifted her to
grounded.
me. Yeah. Yeah, there she is. There's an angel right there.
Oh yeah. I saw it.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just depends on which crystals resonate with you. When they I'll go to a crystal store and sorry. And all of a sudden, like, I'll be pulled to the crystal area, and all of a sudden they'll just start talking to me. I'll be like, what?
Yes. They literally speak to you.
Literally, I hear their voices, and they're like, pick me, no, pick me. And I'm like, okay. And like, I'll hear their voices. Like, some will be like itty bitty little tiny voices. Like, the big stones would be itty bitty tiny voices, and the little bitty stones would be big voices. And I'm like, what? This is, So it's funny how they're each stone is a soul. So, and I probably have over 1,000, probably over 50,000 crystals in my house. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
So I'm a collector, more or less. I'm
You
trying to
must
get
have a
into
lot of
crystal
energy
healing.
bouncing around your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being a triple Libra, I have a lot of opal rings. So yeah, if I see a ring and it's talking to me, yeah, I'll buy it. It's hard to find
I
molten
haven't had an
white
opal
rings.
ring since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to find moldavite rings. I lost my last one at a Motley Crue concert. I was just like, yeah.
What kind of
The ring flies off.
what kind of ring?
Moldavite. Yeah.
It flew. Somebody ended up with that ring.
Actually,
They
it was
must
a
have
Vince
needed it
Neil.
more
It
than
was a
you.
Vince Neil concert, but he was singing all the Motley Crue songs. So I was like, yeah, yeah.
That's
was
funny.
Yeah, somebody else found it, and I was, that's what's meant to be. It's like, if I'm, back in the day, I lost a few when I was surfing. They'd fall off my neck or break off or whatever. And, no big deal. Someone else will find it, and whoever finds it's supposed to have it. Right.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt when I lost that $50 at Walgreens. Boy, did that get picked up quick. They must have needed it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really too upset about it either. I was just like, well, you know what? Whoever found it needed it. It was supposed to be there for them. Yeah.
That just reminded me of a strange thing that happened to me. I was going into Walmart about 3 months ago, and some guy drove up and rolled down his window and said, "I was told to give you this," and he handed me $30 and then drove off before I could do anything. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Thank you, universe. I guess I needed the abundance today, and I'll try to pass it on to somebody, So I did donate some of it to a shelter. So, but it was just amazing how that happened, because I was just, wasn't even expecting something like that.
That's awesome. Out of the blue. Here's $30.
Wow.
I have tons of crystals.
Yeah.
This is one.
Hang on. Let's get you in the spotlight here. There you go.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm in a dark room.
Okay.
Ignore my messy room. There's one. And then I have everything from moldavite on quartz, amethyst, you name it. And I'm making messes. To just random rocks that jump out at me when I'm walking. So it's a mess.
What are your favorite ones?
Oh boy. Well, there went my headphones. They died. Well, I know that you can't see diddly there.
I see your
but-
Mayan calendar. I've got like
Yeah.
3 of those.
Actually, I have quite a few of them.
Mhm.
We had an antique store growing up and a museum in our house. So I got stuck with, oh my God, tons of them. And pottery and everything imaginable that a kid hates that I now love as an adult. Makes no sense. But yeah, I have tons. Of course, my son has tons. So, but that's
How old's your
ours.
son? How old is your son?
He's the one who's 17, going on 18.
Okay. Yes,
So,
that's right. And he's the metaphysical one. Yes.
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Does he have like favorite kinds of crystals himself, or does he wear any? Or
Oh yeah, he wears them at all times. Not all of them, of course, but he always has at least one with him in his pocket. I carry him in my pocket, my purse, my bra.
I was going to
Back
mention
to
that. It's funny you said that, because I know a lot of women that do that. They stuff them in their bras.
Yeah, it's one of those daily surprises at the end of the day that you forget.
You're
If
not
you
alone
don't
on
pay
that. I've heard
attention,
it,
you're walking through the house and then they start falling out.
right?
The worst is change. You know it's happened.
I've learned not to put stones in my bra because I'll take my bra off and fling it, and then my stones will fling, and then bye-bye
Yeah.
stones. I don't know them anymore.
Oh yeah, I understand that all too well.
It's funny. So I don't usually carry like, I'd imagine I could probably stuff this in my underwear, but I'm not going to. It looked kind of funny bulging out of my pants pockets.
No, don't do that. Oh my goodness.
Hey, Kimmy, where are you driving to? Home? Okay. Or karaoke?
Okay.
She can't talk because she's driving. We're not gonna pull her away from keeping focused on the road. But she is an amazing.
Remember a couple days ago we thought
karaoke singer.
Mark was drinking and driving.
Yes,
That was funny.
but he pulled over and told some amazing stories.
Oil and gas
Yes.
guy driving a Prius.
Right?
That was funny. It's great.
Yeah, oil and gas company representative.
He said his boss bought him the car or was paying for it or something. Thought that was funny.
So yeah, there's more confirmation. Shy One says that she always carries her crystals in her bra, except at home. The bra comes off the minute I come home. Good woman. Yesha Zion says, I keep mine in a little see-through bag. Cosmic Wisdom.
Have you guys?
Well, only when I go out, I carry them in my bra. Don't wear a bra at home either. I'm hearing a typical theme here. Once you get home, unleash the girls. Yep. My kind of woman. So we still have, it's 2020, we got 3 years left of Pluto and Capricorn. So what we're going to see is this increased truth vibration continuing to rise. So it's exciting. While Pluto is in Capricorn, Pluto's the destroyer, tears down everything that's not in humanity's best interests. What is that, Desiree?
It's fluorite.
It's beautiful. So yeah, we have 3 years left, and Pluto does tear down, the destroyer tears down everything that's not in humanity's best interests and gives us the opportunity to build them back up in our own interest. And that's why it makes perfect sense that if the event were to happen sometime in the near future, it's going to happen sometime by 2023. Of course, timelines do change and converge and separate and whatever, but I think we all feel like there is this convergence and bifurcation going on right now, where ultimately there will only be one timeline. It doesn't matter what people try to do or say, you're stuck on that timeline. We're all on that timeline, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful timeline. And that's where there's a lot of dissension coming from people who maybe are playing the negative role. And some of those people, honestly, they probably will make the shift as well, because that is their job, to create this turmoil, to wake people up through the turmoil. I guess maybe if there wasn't the turmoil, not as many people would have awoken. Think about 9/11. When we had 9/11, how many people woke up because of that?
Yeah.
I don't even think I don't think any planes hit the buildings.
Right.
I think it was all holograms. And
Do you believe that, Greg? Really?
yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. I'd be curious to hear your version of it. But looking at the buildings that were hit, they all had, all the beams were at the bottom of the building were cut at 45 degrees, and there's nanothermite found all throughout. So obviously there was a controlled demolition that went on. And if it wasn't, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was something that hit the building other than a hologram, what appeared to
But
be
it didn't bring them down.
but it could be a missile similar to what hit the Pentagon,
Yeah.
which was definitely not
That
an
was not a
airplane.
plane that hit the Pentagon, because that there was no way that plane could fit inside the hole in the side of the building. You know what
Right.
happened to the engines, the wings, and all. Yeah.
And then they covered up they poured dirt on top of the crime scene immediately afterwards, which you would never do. But you know, with New York City, I mean, these titanium engines aren't going to melt. You would have remnants of the plane somewhere. Nothing. There's no remnants of any plane in New York City. So I'm curious what you're, especially being in the industry.
Yeah, I wasn't, my seniority, I was still in high school then, but I'm gonna say for, I think it was a 767 and a 757. They're big planes. I mean, so I think it was one American that hit the tower, and then I believe United hit the other tower, and then we had United 93 that went down in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to tell you something. I mean, for what they were saying, that they weren't, the terrorists were not really equipped to fly. They only wanted to learn how to just fly it. I mean, for big planes like that to maneuver around buildings for amateurs, I'm telling you, I mean, I even talk to pilots sometimes about it, you know, when we're not flying, of course, on our layovers, but there's just, one pilot goes, there's just no way a Joe Schmo walked into a cockpit of a 757 or a 767 and just was able to maneuver around those buildings the way it did. I mean, the way that plane looked too, and the maneuvering, that is something a fighter jet does, not a commercial airliner. I mean, those planes are not built to do maneuvers like that. They're built, if you do a maneuver like that in one of those giant planes, you're going to crash immediately, and you know, you're not going to be able to fly it. So
yeah, well, I mean, even
some validity.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, there's definitely some validity to what Gregg is saying about holograms.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, United Flight 93, the crash site is one place, but the place where all the luggage and everything was found was like 3 miles away. So, you know, who knows what that was?
You tell me.
It could have been just a setup, you know, people throwing luggage out there and 3 miles away, things like that.
It could be, you know, I mean, you know, the disinformation's a big thing, you know, I mean, they really like to keep us chasing our own tails, you know.
Of course, the passport for that Mahatma, whatever his name was, I forgot, that happened to fall down and was perfectly never burned or singed or anything. They found that, of course, from one of the people that allegedly hijacked the plane. That was fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like the magic bullet in the Kennedy assassination, you know, I mean, I've been to the Texas School Book Depository, you know, I mean, it's interesting, the stories you hear around there, you know, and what happened that day.
Bill Hicks has a good comedy routine about that. If you haven't seen it,
I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys remember correctly too, the Pentagon, when the missile hit, if you remember correctly, a week prior to that is when that $7 billion quote unquote went missing. And the records room is, ironically enough, what got crashed into, and there was nobody in it.
And there was a lot of gold in Building 7, which was never hit by an airplane. Had a small little office fire in it, but yet collapsed.
It collapsed.
Imprint.
They said it was from the debris falling from the 2 towers and all that, and it caused it to vibrate. And there was all sorts of crap that came out right after that. And no one knew about Tower 7 until, I mean, I think they showed it briefly during 9/11, and that was it. No one ever heard about Tower 11 until like a few years later after 9/11, and then everyone started talking about Tower 11.
Well, I remember that day, and I remember it was mentioned briefly, but then boom, it was never mentioned again.
Exactly. You know? Yep. And I was only 15. I still remember it to this day clearly, of everything that was said on the news. I remember it, and I remember it clearly.
Who's that? Larry
You
Silver,
remember
Silvernail or
when
something?
Trump came on,
What?
and do you remember when Trump came on right shortly after 9/11, and he had stated, okay, well, I'm in the construction industry, and yes, that building was built from the outside in. There's absolutely no way a plane could take that down. That was a controlled demolition. And they had him on video saying that. Now, ironically enough, you can't find that one video on YouTube.
Scrubbed.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all scrubbed. They're gone.
Yep.
Well, George Bush's, I think it was nephew or cousin, Marvin, was involved in the security for the trade centers, the towers there. So there's the end to plant the nanothermite, right? So, when the swamp gets drained, it's not just Democrats, Republicans. McCain would have been one of those Republicans that would have been rounded up and sent to Gitmo. Mitt Romney is another one, the Bush family. It's not Republican, it's not Democrat. They're all in it on it together. There's a bunch of them that are. So it's going to be interesting when these indictments come out.
Very interesting. President Obama is bloodline with George Bush, and all the other presidents that lead back. They're all blood related at some point.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, Trump is not.
Trump, yeah, that's got a point
and
there.
Trump is not.
Well, he's the catalyst for change, I guess, is what you said. I mean, somebody's got to come in and start, saying this is not right. We got to do something, and it's working, I guess, because I mean, things are changing. It's amazing.
Where we go one, we go all. Because when the information comes, it's going to shock the world. There's a lot of non-believers, and there is absolutely no way my government would ever do that.
Yeah, you're crazy. No way. Yeah.
Our government? No, we're the good guys. Ha ha. Yeah.
Just like when the Democrats, all 21 of them stood up there, it was a much different platform than it was back in 2016 with the election with Trump and what we were talking about. So all these Democrats, the old school Democrats, were super disappointed. I mean, they don't have it. A lot of them don't have internet. They're not on the internet. They don't have Facebook. They don't see what we're seeing, but they did see those elections. Those 21 Democrats standing up there talking, and they were talking about giving away free medical to illegals and free schooling and all this stuff that these people are suffering. They're suffering. They're struggling with their Medicare and their prescriptions, and so there was a huge awakening with that when that happened as well. A lot of people walked away, and they're continually walking away. It's going to be a landslide. California, with the exception, is going to be a tough one, but
California's
everybody's waking up.
Even California's waking up.
They're sick of the same Democratic Party it was before.
They're sick of the shit over literally the shit in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, they got feces overflowing in the streets. I mean, who wants to live in that?
It's bad. When I was based in San Francisco out of training, I moved within a month down to San Diego because and I commuted to work every day almost. I commuted from San Diego to San Francisco because I was living in an apartment with 10 people, still paying $500 a month.
Jesus.
My.
Damn.
That's one. And then two, I mean, it was not the San Francisco I saw in the movies, that's for sure. I mean, the feces in the streets and for me, I'm a gay man, but like the stuff that goes on there in the gay community and everything, the leather, the sex in the streets, and it was beyond just not cool. I mean, for even see my community act like that was just enough for me to leave San Francisco immediately. Immediately. I mean, it's gross. It's absolutely, it's like, it looks like we live in a third world country when you visit San Francisco.
I'll tell you what, if it was, and they're already in taking charge on this right now, but to clear up these votes, that there's actually more people that are voting than there are the people that live in some of these counties in California. So they're cleaning that up right now. I guarantee, and this is going on all around the United States. There was, I think it was in Kansas and Washington. There's a bunch of states that Hillary supposedly won, but they're finding out that there were all these voter fraud cases of all these votes that never existed, honestly. People that had died, people, you know, so on and so forth. People that voted that were born in the 1800s, you know, stuff like that. And they're finding. So what you're going to find is, I would imagine that Trump probably won the popular vote as well as the electoral college in the last vote. But if it had not been for the voter fraud, you know, Hillary won the popular vote. But what I'm curious about is what happened at George Bush's funeral when all these leaders like Obama and Hillary, and they're all given those. I wonder what was in those envelopes.
You're next. You're next. I don't know. I mean, they all looked pretty worried, didn't they?
They looked very concerned. I have to go get some more water. So I'm going to let you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
I haven't been to San Francisco, Matthew, since I was, gosh, let me think. I think I was like 14 or 15. And that was like the Fisherman's Wharf area. I have friends that actually live out there. A friend of mine was living in Petaluma, and they got out of there. They're in Oregon now. They're done. They're just done.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I couldn't believe it, and I'm like, because in training they asked you, where do you want to go? They gave us a list of all the bases, and of course they threw all 80 of us in San Francisco. We didn't have a choice, really. We didn't. But I was so like, oh, I hope I get San Francisco. Like the minute I get there, and I'm like, oh God. I was like, what did I just do? I'm like, I should have went to Newark, and that's not saying much. That's not saying much, but immediately, San Diego was great, but too, they do have a homeless problem there too, but it's not as bad as San Francisco, but it's bad enough too. I mean, I was paying a lot of money for my apartment in San Diego, and in a very nice, well, what you would call a very nice neighborhood. But in the back alley, there's people shooting up heroin, starting fires and mattresses near my apartment. And I'm like, why am I paying all this money to see people destroy themselves in my back alley? And, you know, and what they do is what happens is these homeless people, really, I feel bad for them because they do have some sort of mental disorder. They do. And the hospitals are so overflowed that they get into the hospital and then they release them the next day back out into the streets. And then they do another petty crime, but they don't go to jail. The judge will just send them right back to the mental hospital. 2 days later, they're released out in the streets again. I mean, it's a revolving door. It's just
the jails are probably overcrowded too. You know, when I was in Arizona, I went there last June, and I just got back here in Florida a few days ago. But in 2019, 700,000 people moved into the Maricopa County area, which is Phoenix. 700,000. So the license plate is like 1 in 5 was a California license plate. They're all moving into Arizona. And they're all bringing their shit with them.
They're already moving into places like Denver now. Denver was a beautiful city. I just left Denver a few months ago. And the crime, I lived there in 2014. And then I moved back last year for a little bit. And I just left again because I'm like, this isn't the Denver that I remember. And the crime.
I used to live in Colorado Springs.
Okay, so
And I really didn't like the Denver area at all, at all. Colorado Springs in the Woodland Park when you're going up the mountain. I loved it, absolutely loved it. But, you know, and I'm still a part of quite a few of the different groups there. And you listen to those people, they're pissed. They're pissed about all the people that are moving in. Everybody's, they're not very happy.
So yeah, you know, and they just passed a law in Denver now. So in front of the Capitol building in Denver now, you're allowed to pitch a tent on the lawn and sleep there and all that. Oh yeah, they allow it. They allow it now. They ruined the whole 16th Street Mall. I mean, it's terrible.
Oh my God.
They're literally redoing the mall now because it's gotten so bad. They're
I
redoing
remember
the
the
entire
16th Street Mall. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Glass, like it was so nice.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. It's gotten really bad. It's like stay away at night now. And I'm like, in Denver, I never used to hear about crime when I used to live there in 2014.
Right.
No.
And it just
That's
crazy.
hi,
one
you
of the reasons
guys.
why we left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. What's the topic tonight?
Bouncing around. Anything? Open chat.
Anything.
What do you?
Well, I missed the Saturnalia thing. So what was that about?
You're gonna have to go back and watch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
it's interesting, but bottom line is not to put a lot of energy into stuff that's trying to keep us living in subservience, control, and conformity.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So hi,
We're
Rhonda. You've never
moving
seen
beyond it.
me. I'm Galaxy.
Hi, Galaxy.
Ray, how are you? Who else is here? I listened to your share the other night. It was great. Hi, flight attendant. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi, Gary. Of course, Greg. Oh my gosh. So, hey, I heard you earlier say that when you do our chats here, you get the most wonderful dreams. Well, I do too. So that's really cool. So it's because we're all spiritually connected. And I think that's why.
Yeah, I love that dream I had about the robin or the
No, the red cardinal.
Yeah, the
No,
red cardinal.
Red cardinal.
Dolores
Yep,
Cannon
I
dream.
remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw 3 of those today and yesterday.
So people that are watching on YouTube, join in. I'm posting the link right now. Join us here on Zoom live. Get your beautiful face up there and your beautiful voice out there. Share the codons with everyone that you have. That's what it's all about.
I had a friend that was watching me and he noticed that I was holding my mic out like this because one time I was talking to him outside and the wind, anything, this mic is so sensitive. And he said, well, if you just wear a proper collared shirt and get a clip, it'd probably be okay. So,
Yeah, most people don't even hold it. They just let it hang right there.
oh
It's
man.
fine. You should have no issues. Yeah.
Has anybody heard of the Andara crystals?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you guys have any?
Yes.
No, they're expensive. No, that's expensive. They're expensive.
I had quite a few. I've given away quite a few. So like my kids, obviously, they all have one. A friend of mine, a couple friends of mine. And I have a set, a green one, and it's kind of like an orangish yellow. Yes, they are very expensive. That one actually gives me, when I hold it in my hands, I can feel the energy run through my arms. And those are the only 2 colors that I felt anything with, but they had to be together. So yes, those ones actually sit in the bra. But out of all the crystals that I've had, those ones, I can feel the energy coming from those. Just, I just don't even know how to describe it. It's pretty crazy.
What's the name of it?
Andara.
Andara.
You can Google
I've
it.
never heard
Yeah.
of them.
Well,
Maybe
it's really got
Yeah.
a magical, they have a magical power in them, especially if you get like a
Yeah.
rainbow one or,
Yeah.
yeah, I know somebody else who has
What
those.
category would they be in?
Quartz.
You could just Google Andara crystals, I think. But you have to make sure you get the real ones, because one of my friends, I have a friend that's like a scientist, he's a biochemist or whatever, and he said, well, you got to make sure that you don't get anything fake, because there's fake ones. So you have to make sure you get the right ones. But I think you can just
Yeah,
Google
you know when
crystals.
you have something that's real, especially the energy that emits from it. They're
Yeah.
pretty spectacular, I would say. Almost,
Or are they close to a Super 7
almost
then?
like a manifesting amplifier.
Right.
Very,
Oh, I kicked
yeah,
myself
very
off.
cool stuff.
So apparently they come in like different colors.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
and they all emit
expensive.
different energies.
That would make sense. Like maybe the green would be heart,
Background
blue
on
would be
them,
throat
where they come
chakra,
from.
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I have one.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like mine.
I had
I
a
don't
lot
go
of
anywhere
spirit.
with
I had a
mine.
lot of spirit songs today. I shared one on my Twitter page. I was going to share it straight to you, Greg. There's a song, and it's old timey, but the time keeps on slipping into the future.
Yeah. Somebody was singing that. I think.
Time keeps on
Yeah.
slipping.
I think it was Phil.
Yeah.
He
Was
sang
it
that a
Phil?
couple times on here.
Oh, into the future. And then the other song I got was Dancing in the Streets. One of my friends told me that,
Oh,
the spiritual or the celestial beings are always around protecting us. And then I got this song, Dancing in the Streets, and I thought, oh, okay, well, cool. That's like a big celebration that,
yeah.
somebody out there is protecting us. So we're like, we can be whatever we
Is
want.
that what that means?
So Desiree, I'm sorry, just to speak up real quick so we can see that and get a close up of it.
Oh,
This
you
is-
have it.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
what I,
Yeah, that's
someone
a good one.
gifted it to me, but yeah,
Yeah.
but it's completely see-through, but
Oh,
it's like a light
Yeah.
ocean blue, and it's so pretty.
that's like I think that's like $200 or something. Those are expensive.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big collector of stones, let's just say. So that's why I was like, is it like a Super 7 or yeah? But since you showed pictures of it, yeah, and then like it has veins in it of blue, almost like it almost resembles the fluorite, the way of the waves are in it, of the the veins in it. And then my phone drops. But yeah.
So one of the things is about those crystals is they are very magnetic. They're magnetic, and that's probably the big thing. Is they are magnetic. Like I live in Colorado, so there's lots of quartz here, and I think that's the attraction of. There's a lot of quartz here, and quartz is magnetic, and so are crystals because they're water. Like you could even grow your own crystals. I think I went to a YouTube thing one time where you can grow your own crystals out of salt or sugar or whatever. So I thought about doing that. I thought about making my own crystals out of sugar. So I thought, wow, I wonder what that would bring me.
So I'm just reading about this, and it says that Andara crystals are master crystals with healing vibrations that are from another world. They are thought by some
Right.
to be some of the highest vibrational crystals because they contain prima matra, which combines 70 minerals. So I just thought I'd bring that out.
Cool. Yep.
The energy that emits from them are amazing. They are amazing. Is it Desiree? Desiree, do you get any kind of energy off the one that you just showed us?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot of energy. Trying to find my Super 7 because I feel more energy from a Super 7 than I do that one. So I guess every stone is different for every person depending on your magnetic field or your energy. So yeah.
I can feel that one from here. I don't have my Andaras with me because like I put in the chat earlier, I thought we were moving right back to Colorado. So we packed up everything that wouldn't fit in the car. So I don't have my Andaras. And now we're here for a few more months. But so I can't remember any of the specifics, but one, I ordered them from Lisa Transcendence Brown, and one of them got missed in the set. So I told her, she sent one out to me right away. And oh my gosh, I didn't even open the envelope that it was in. And I almost fell over. And I didn't open it. And I had my husband come home that night, and his intuitive, all his skills are beginning to open up. He doesn't have a clue who he is because he's already got all this, but it's finally coming out in the open. But anyway, I said, here, hold this package. He, like, it almost jumped out of his, I mean, he couldn't. He's like, holy cow. And I think in my mind that it's the color that you just had in your hand, because that's the one for me, at least, that just like.
That looks like the Siesta Key water, the color of the
Yeah,
water.
it does,
It
Greg.
does.
It does.
Yep.
It does.
blue.
Yeah.
The Bahamas, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caribbean.
Yes.
My
And then
son
there
has
was
my blue one.
say that again. I'm sorry.
I said my son has my blue one, the one kind of like a really, really super light blue. That's the one that resonated with him the most. And I had them just choose whatever they could feel, I kept mine. You can't have these, these ones are mine.
Yeah.
But I let them try it out to see if they actually felt the same kind of energy from the two that I had, because mine were, God, they're just amazing, 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 amazing. Not to mention the green one is kind of flat and it fits in my bra perfectly.
I have to tell you guys this story. You're probably not going to believe this, but I went through my yard. Okay. So like I said, I'm in Colorado and there's a lot of quartz here. So I went to my yard and I picked up a lot of quartz and rose quartz, and I brought them in the house. And I thought, well, if you bring them in the house, I'm thinking it's probably, what I had heard is that you're bringing in the energy of nature into your house. I'm really a nature person. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. Well, that's what I want in my house, is nature. So I brought them all in. And after a while, this is years ago, and after a while I thought, well, these aren't doing anything. I don't know why I have all these rocks in here. This is ridiculous. So I threw them out onto my, I have like a patio cover outside my bedroom window, that covers my patio downstairs. And I thought, well, I'm just going to, this is ridiculous. So I threw them out there. And a couple of days later, they went into a pattern of the constellation Orion.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I had some sightings, so I had called the MUFON people, and MUFON came, and there was some pictures taken of it, and they told me, they said, wow, we don't know if that's, of course at the time they didn't, this is years ago, like 7 years ago. They're like, well, we don't know, that might be poltergeist activity or whatever, but it was the constellation Orion, and somewhere I have a picture of it. So one of these times I'm going to have to try to do the screen share, because I have a picture where those crystals line themselves up basically as the constellation of Orion. So it's really
Wow.
strange. Yeah, just throwing them out there. Just the energy. I thought, wow, somebody is obviously around. So yeah, that was amazing.
Have you seen UFOs out there? Because I know it's really, really super active in Arizona.
I miss that. What?
I said, have you seen any UFOs out there? Because I know it's really active in Arizona.
Oh yeah, this is Colorado. I was talking the other day on the chat. I couldn't talk because my family was doing TV time, so I couldn't really talk. But I was telling a Scotty boy, I said my weather here is either cloudy or helicopters. So yeah, I'm not that far from Space Force, so there's a lot of activity here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had to call MUFON. I had so much activity. At one time I had to call MUFON. I have tons of pictures, so no. It's just because I'm really a sensitive. Oh, I know. I need to be. I want to try to figure out how to share them. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I think this is different than my other computer. So oops, I kicked myself off, I think. No, I'm still on there. This doesn't have the icon things on the bottom like my big computer screen. Because on the big computer screen, there's like a share thing on the bottom. Let me see if I can find it. And I have some orbs if I can find them. No, I think this just shows faces. And usually my family's in that room. Let's see. Nope, I can't do it here. I'm on like my tablet and oh, there we go. Let's see, share. Okay, wait. If I mess this up, you guys kick me off. Let's see, photo. See, it says photo, but I have the like that's in my gallery. Okay, wait. Let me see. Oh darn.
Gregg knows how to do it. He changed his over to the N5D photos, so.
Oh, shoot. I don't know if I know how to do it. Sorry. You guys keep talking while I monkey with this. This is such a tiny
Hey,
screen.
Hi, Rhonda.
James,
What's
how you
that?
doing while I'm monkeying around?
Hey,
Talk.
we're the monkeys. You know we like monkeying around. I'm not a monkey. I'm in a human body. I think looks like it, but I monkey around a lot. I just want to say
Let me
that.
know when you're ready for some drywall.
Oh, well, I just had a setback. I had rescued an Akita German Shepherd cross that's possibly a wolf dog, and he was feral or semi-feral. He had been kept in a cage for 5 years his whole life, and so he.
Oh, here, you guys will love this. This is my light body weight. And so I don't know if I know how to get out of share. That's my light body. That's up. See at the bottom down there? I was meditating.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So cool. And what is that thing that's a smiley face orb above my head? Isn't that
Those are
wild?
orbs.
I
That's
know. And
yeah.
my body is that body on the bottom. That's after 3 hours of meditating. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to try to find something else.
Wow,
Okay.
that's
Keep
fabulous.
Keep
Very
talking.
cool picture.
Keep talking. I'm looking. Wait.
Go ahead,
Go,
James.
James.
You got your
Go,
dog?
James.
Well, he escaped last night while we were gone. I had to drive Amanda to Phoenix, and he tore out a bunch of insulations. And on the other side,
Did you just say Phoenix? Are you in Arizona?
I drove to Phoenix and dropped her off and drove back. And look.
Okay, here's some face orbs. Can you see this baby face? Let me see if it shared it. See? See? This is an orb. It's like almost like a spirit. It was almost like a soul catcher.
Whoa.
See the baby face?
Yeah.
Another one of
Yeah.
another face. It looks like
A face.
somebody else. See? Okay, I have another one. Keep talking.
Wow.
I can't.
Yeah, so what's going on with your house, James? Keep talking while I keep trying to find my stuff. Oh, darn, I lost my screen. Talk.
My dog escaped.
Your dog escaped? What?
Yeah.
Did you say you had an Akita?
He was like an Akita German Shepherd cross or an Akita Wolf cross. We hadn't got the test yet. He was surrendered as a wolf dog.
Was he going after a raccoon or what was going on?
Well, he's feral, so he escaped. He actually ate through the half of my house is an RV.
Oh, that's cool. So you put that. Here's another face. So you put that.
Oh shit, he did eat through it.
There we go. Ta-da! There's a guy. Can you see that guy face? Almost looks like Jesus. Weird.
I see a face.
I know.
It almost looks like James, man.
Okay, wait. I'm still looking. Wait. Ta-da! I've been dying to share my photos with you guys, so I'll keep looking, keep talking. You don't want to see.
How do you do that?
Well, Gregg, how did I do that? The pictures or the?
Yeah, there's somebody on Sharon is asking on YouTube, how did you capture that aura with a regular camera?
Yes, in the house. It was like kind of dark, you know, like kind of cloudy in the house, and I had watched a video on meditating. And then I watched another YouTube video on how to see your own aura, because I was going to go to one of our medical physical fairs that we have here locally to get a picture of your own aura. It was like $20. I thought, well, I don't have $20, so how can I do this? So this is like my cell phone, and that is a copy of a copy because it's from my cell phone to my tablet, so it's even less pixelated. It was a lot more clear on my cell phone, but I just tried to take a picture of myself, my aura on the wall, and that's what happened. I was like totally freaked.
Wow.
And also,
to try that tonight.
yeah, you have to. I had to really meditate for a long time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a picture of my aura here. I couldn't believe it. Let's see. Oh, here's some. Did
you see the picture, Greg?
No, I had to walk away.
Oh my gosh, I have to
Go
put
in
it
that
back.
picture again.
Really
Okay,
cool.
this is some orbs in my yard. This is some orbs.
Yeah.
This isn't very clear. I have pictures on MUFON that are clearer than this. So, but wait. Okay, let me share the light body with Greg. I gotta find it again. Keep talking, you guys. Let's see. Photo. I'm just kind of learning how to do this, so I'm like not very computer.
You're doing fine, actually.
Right?
Wait. Let me see. Wait. Greg didn't get us. Oh, here it is. Oh. Whoa, and I'm at the bottom.
Wow.
Remember I
That's
told
her
you
at the
my
bottom.
light body? Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's
there's
so
this
cool.
orb thing. So you could see, if you look down at the left-hand corner there's a picture in my living room,
Uh-huh.
which is really weird. And then there's some kind of orb, and then that light thing that's super bright is me. And then look at that. Look at that orb with that smiley face. Whoa. Is it like
And
a
then
guardian? And then what are those other things? Ships? And then I don't know. That is a trip. I mean,
and
this
that
is
was
in my
on
house.
your wall.
Yeah,
I mean,
in my house.
Those are all
after
your
meditating.
guides with you.
My guys,
That's
you are right.
fantastic.
Yep,
Oh, that
isn't that
is
amazing?
cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's
And then see
amazing.
that green thing at the top? Sometimes it's a football shape, and it will like shine a light down onto me. I have other pictures of that too. So let me
Wow.
see if I can find another one.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
cool.
I
That's
haven't. Yeah,
awesome.
let me see what else I got. Keep talking. I love to listen to you guys. I love to watch Desiree brush her hair. It's so calming to me. It's like going to a chiropractor or something. Okay, wait, let me see. What else do I have? Oh, this is a light orb that came up my driveway. You can't really look at it too long because it's kind of blinding. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I know. And this is a very good picture because it's a picture of a picture of a picture, because it came from my cell phone. And it was like this huge glowing light that just came up my driveway. It was unbelievable.
Holy cow.
Oh,
Wow.
wait. Yeah, I know I have more. Wait. Keep talking. I'll keep finding stuff. Ta-da. Okay, wait. Yeah, I've been dying to share this with you guys. Let's see what else.
She's a
look at
campfire
this weird
lady.
thing. Here, look at this weird deal. What is that? Look how there's like a circle within a circle and then a circle in the middle.
Where did
And
you
see
get
at the
that?
top, that's the moon. At the top, that glowing light up there, that's the moon. So what is
Wow.
that thing down there? So it's obviously a plasma of something. Yeah.
Wait, oh.
See it? I'm like,
Oh,
whoa.
wow. When was that taken?
Probably about a month ago.
Oh, darn. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know if there's a date. Okay. Let's see what else I can find. Keep talking. Am I bothering you guys? You got this? Nobody talks.
No, we're all going to be busy tonight taking pictures. I am.
Let's see what else
Oh my gosh.
I have, let's see. I was looking for that picture of the blue orbs that I put on. Oh, that's kind of weird. Okay, so Greg missed Greg, did you see the baby photo? The baby face?
No.
Here's the baby face. Oh no, that's other plasmas in my front yard.
Oh my
And now I have my husband as a witness. See that thing right there? This is just stuff in my yard. They like shape shift, and the two on the right are trying to form, and the two on the left are actually starting to go into their plasma thing or whatever that is. Isn't that a trip? I mean, this is like,
Wow.
and I have a really cheap cell phone. It's just they tell me when they're around. They're like, okay, well, come
Take my
outside.
picture,
Here we are.
please.
Look.
Mile.
Hi. Yeah.
Smile pretty
smile.
for the camera.
And you know, if they don't want you to see them, they won't show you. Oh, here, you guys will love this. Here's an angel cloud. Okay, let's see. Did it show? Oh, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Ta-da! That's my Archangel Michael photo. So you can see the head and the wings, kind of.
That looks like some pictures that Rosie O'Neill has taken down by, where is she, Greg? Fort Myers or Naples
Cape
or
Coral.
something. Yeah, that we've seen. She put them up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 right in a row, and they look very similar. Really, really cool.
I can't find a really good one of the orbs.
I love Rosie. I need to get her on here as a guest and just
That would be really cool.
pick her brain.
I just
here
read
you-
her stuff. She's wonderful.
I love
Two.
Rosie.
Here's a light ship. Here's a light ship. You guys will love this. It's a butterfly shape. And I'm taking a picture of my phone in the bathroom. See that thing? It's like a huge owl. But this is like huge. This is like up in the sky, like by the moon. So, yeah,
Wow.
I know. Isn't that a trip? Okay, what else do I have? Let's see. Keep talking. I love to hear you guys talk. It's like,
I'm just waiting and watching.
well, I was going to do a YouTube channel, but I don't know how. I don't even hardly know what I'm doing. So let's see. I don't have really good orb pictures in this. Here's like, oh, wow. There's some good ones in here. And these are copies of copies. Here's something that came into my bedroom upstairs. See that?
Oh,
Wow.
What? You're like,
oh my
high energy. Right. You're like, oh, what? Hello. And see those little crosses in the back, that little thing that looks like jail or whatever? That's a screen. So it was on the inside of the screen.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yep, what a trip. Okay, so let's see what else I got. Let's see, wait. I mean, then this is only like
Wow.
nothing. I just want you guys to know, I wish Alina was on here because she was talking about 2 suns and I have like other stuff up by the moon and let's see. Oh, that's up by the moon. That's a sky. That's not very interesting. I think that's it. No, oh, no, that's a stock photo. I think that's all I have on this. Oh, here. This. I woke up one day and I came downstairs and this was on my camera and I didn't take this picture. Oh, it won't let me screen share. Oh, did I kick myself off? Guess I did.
James Carpenter.
Oh, James is sharing his dog. Oh, how cute.
Trying to.
Oh, I'm so sad that he ran off. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm sorry. We love our dogs, you know.
If you can, this is what he did.
Oh my gosh. He wanted
Oh, he dug his way
he
out.
wanted
Oh, my.
something really badly.
So was there something out there? Oh man, there must have been
Holy
something out there,
cow.
like a rabbit or a raccoon or something, right?
Or a
Big boy.
female.
Or a female.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
look
like a wolf. He's got wolf hybrid in him.
at
Definitely. you
those
can tell
green
by the-
eyes lighting up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, you can see it.
The green-eyed dog is a full-size pit bull black lab mix, and you can see how he dwarfs
Yeah.
Kuma.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the eyes. I mean, the eyes. That's bizarre.
There's this place here in Colorado called the Dog Bar. It's in Katera, Colorado. And the woman, the original owner, had a wolf. I used to love to go down there because she had a black wolf. It was really cool.
Wow.
We weren't positive yet, but until we had a DNA test, but I
He
don't
has
know what to
wolf
do
hybrid. No. Oh, I'm so
Oh.
sad. Did you
There's a-
chip him or tattoo him? No.
we just got him a week ago. He was still decompressing, you know.
Yeah.
We drove to
yeah.
Texas to save him.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That's terrible. When I lost my last dog, I had a heart attack. You know, I'm like,
Oh
oh.
man.
Yeah.
He was so cute. He looked like a little puppy even when he was 17. So, you know, it was just really hard. So it was awful. They love unconditionally. I mean, nothing
Yep.
loves like your dog. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that, James.
Thank you. If anybody sees him, give me a
Oh,
ring.
Yeah.
well, if he comes to my house, I'm keeping him. So there.
Well, you know,
That's-
he was set to get euthanized, so maybe this is his maybe this will be his best chance at a good life out here in the woods. I don't know. Maybe he'll come home.
He might come home.
He might come
With
home.
puppies. I
I
want
had
pick of the litter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
On
not fixed
YouTube.
yet.
On
The
YouTube.
owner of the Wild Wolf Sanctuary over here in Candy Kitchen Ranch was gonna take a look at him. We just hadn't had time yet. And so he's gonna come up here tomorrow and try to see if he can follow the tracks. I followed them as to the cliff, but then once you get to the cliff, they disappear because it's rock and I can't. I'm not a hunter or a tracker. You can see his big paw prints everywhere until you get to the cliff and it's rock, and he's more
Dude,
likely
he's in
with
his
the-
mind.
yeah, he's probably heading back to Texas.
You know, I used to have a husky and we would let it out in the country and she would run for like 3 days and she would come back all dirty and muddy and nasty.
Yeah.
She'd always come back. So give it a couple more days, see what happens.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't give up hope. I had a cat just show up at our place in Colorado, just beat to heck, and I put her back together. It took me a lot of work, and she left, and I went, well, thanks a lot, you know. But I loved her, and 3 months later, she showed up again. 3 months, and she was in perfect condition, and she never left since. And when she passed, we were living outside Cheyenne, Wyoming, and she did her darndest to keep alive until my husband came back from Thailand. He went to a silent retreat, but I couldn't handle it anymore. She died. She literally, I can test and all of that, and she literally died 3 times. I let her out one morning because I thought, okay, because she kept going the furthest place she could in the house away. And I thought, okay, and she was so sick and I couldn't handle it anymore. And I knew that she wasn't going to get better. So I let her out the door. It was a real foggy morning. And the long story short, she went down into the bushes. I watched her I didn't want to bother her, you know, but I watched her from inside the house like a hawk. For 3 hours, she never moved. She never breathed. She literally tested. She was gone, dead, done deal. And so I sat there bawling my head off, called everybody that I could call saying, you know, it's done. And I'm in the middle of a call and she's scratching at the door. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? And so I ended up having to put her down, which I just hated, but there was just no hope at that point, and it was hurting me and hurting her. And so I let her go, but I told her, and she comes back to me still. And this has been, oh God, I'm gonna start crying.
You can cry. It's us.
Yeah, I cry a lot. It's been
That's
3
all right.
years.
Don't let that stop you. It's us. You could cry anywhere. It's here. So.
Thank you. She continually shows up, just for a short time. But I told her when she comes back, because I'm totally prepared. I said, when you come back, come in a dog body, and this is where we're living now. And I keep keeping her updated, like I need to do that, you know. Like now we're in Melrose, now we're in Siesta Key, or not Siesta Key, but now we're in AMI, and now we're at Longboat, now we're going back to Colorado. But we're about to get some sort of puppy, and so I'm pretty darn sure that her soul's going to be in there. So
Oh,
do
that's
not
so
give
awesome.
up hope.
And you know what? You could see it in their eyes. I have read a lot
Yeah.
of stories about that. When you see
Yeah.
it, you see it in their eyes, and they recognize you and you recognize them. And you know,
Yeah.
the only animals that really have souls are the ones that have connected with humans. And that's
Yeah.
probably why. So when you see it in the eyes, you'll know.
Yeah, whoever told that story earlier tonight, I had never heard that before. And that's really, really cool. And totally makes sense with her because she was a very high vibrational being. I mean, she is, period, in the story. But don't give up hope, James. And you know, if he doesn't come back, then it was meant to be the way it was, I guess. But that's hard.
Is anybody actually watching James trip out on his own forehead?
You guys see that shit? I'm sorry. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Do you guys see that?
Yes.
What's going on?
What is tripping out over it?
It looks like what you have.
I thought it
when
was
you
your
have a
third
green
eye.
screen, and you put up something in like a green screen, and you can like see anything on it. But that's what it kind of looks like. But I have no idea what that is.
I know.
Wow.
God.
It is. Yeah, there's the eyes.
Wow. Are you trying to? Oh, I found my picture of Orion on my
I thought I was like dematrixing or something for a moment there. Like,
found the picture
am
of
I
the
a skid?
stones?
What's going on?
You could be,
What
yeah,
is
you
that?
could be dematrixing.
Oh my gosh.
Ta-da! There's the Orion thing on the constellation of Orion on my patio cover.
Right here, I see it.
I know, isn't that weird? Those are my crystals that I just threw out. I'm like, okay, garbage, and I threw them out the window. And no, this was a picture like when MUFON came over. So, yeah, weird. So what's going on with your forehead?
Okay, back
James?
to James, because it went down your
Yeah.
nose here for a while.
What?
Oh, okay. Is
That's-
somebody messing with? Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
he's translucent. You know who else can do that?
It looks like green screen, you know, like we used
Yeah,
to do in
that's
video
what I thought.
world, you know? Wow.
Peter
my.
Maxwell Slattery can do
Oh,
that.
man.
Do you know who he is? Peter
You're
Maxwell
tripping, dude.
Slattery.
Calm
Or
down,
we
man.
all are. Oh my. Oh, your arms too.
You're over here Everything. He's a reptilian, you
matrixing.
guys.
Oh,
The test of the light, though.
Do you guys know who Peter Maxwell Slattery is? He does this too. He's like a 12th dimensional and didn't even know it. You have to Google him. Yep. Peter Maxwell.
You need to
Slattery.
send this Zoom to him and see what he says.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh!
I
Okay,
have not
I'm whole
seen it.
again.
Fun.
I'm whole.
Oh,
That was fun.
whoa.
Okay, guys. So I have a question.
Yes, go.
It's open forum. We got like my understanding. We have 4 super moons. We just had one, right?
Right.
In a row, and we just started Mercury retrograde.
Yep.
Yep, Mercury will go retrograde tomorrow.
How can I make my bubble like stop it around me? Because it's happening for the past 2 days. It has been nothing but Mercury retrograde.
The
So
days
what do
before
you
Mercury retrograde
want
are
to
usually
stop?
the strongest.
Huh?
The days before and then the days after,
Right.
a few days after, a few days before are usually like when you really feel Mercury
Right.
retrograde.
Just
I'm
like a
thinking
full
about
moon.
getting my sleeping bag and going under my shed and just like staying there.
Hide out till it's done.
What do you guys have any ways you guys combat, or
No.
is there?
No sleep. No, nothing works. Wine, marijuana, nothing works. No. So forget it.
You just got to go through it.
That's right. Gary's right. You
Do
just
some
have
breathing
to
exercises.
It's part of the
meditate
process,
and breathe.
yeah.
Right. Yes,
Part
you
of the
do.
process.
And you keep yourself in love. And you keep yourself
Just
in
be good to you, you know, treat
positive.
yourself good.
Yeah,
right.
as best you can.
And try not to sign any big contracts.
Right.
I don't think you would anyway, being out
Right.
there. Right.
Yeah.
And oh, by the
No.
way, the tarot kind of things I've been drawing is saying that everybody kind of needs to make sure you have good backup on all your electronics, like your computer files and stuff. Don't just keep one copy, like make multiple copies, because
Yeah.
part of the shift is all that electromagnetic energy might cause some things to kind of fry, you know?
Well.
Maybe I'll just turn my inverter off for a few days and have no electricity.
Might be a good idea.
It's not going to matter, James. It's still going to get to you. You're still going to feel the electromagnetic energy of the universe, the magnetosphere. You're going to feel it, whether you like it or not. I mean, like I was trying to tell you guys, my husband is so not awake and he can feel stuff and see stuff now, but he's like, what? Yeah, so
Mhm.
no. Electromagnetic energy. We're like, you've got to think about it like this. We're like 98% water. And so when you're that much water, you're electromagnified yourself. So yeah. So
I
you
can
can't-
feel
you
the
can't
energy.
run.
I can feel both my arms have been like tingling like crazy for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and it's
Oh, you were saying that, Gary.
I mean, I've
Yep.
had like an EKG just to make sure, all that good stuff, and it's nothing like that, but it's
Stuck in the hospital
No,
for
I
like
know
6
what you
hours.
I when I run my hands over like this, all the hairs on my arm stand up now.
Yep,
that kind
it's
of
so
thing.
super tingly, super tingly. Do you,
I
when
get
you,
the
Gary,
ring
when
in
you're
my
getting ready
ear.
to go to sleep, do you feel like somebody, like every once in a while, somebody touches you and you're like, ooh, and then you get like
Yeah,
tingly?
I
Yeah.
hear somebody call my
Mhm.
name sometimes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I hear a
And then you-
voice.
Yep.
And then I
Yep.
feel like somebody's tapping me on the shoulder, and there's nobody there.
Yep.
Gary,
Yeah, really.
wake up. That's right.
Yeah,
You
really.
guys are so funny.
Come out and play.
Mhm.
So
Yep,
I
yep.
got this article on N5D. It's all about orbs. I brought it up earlier, and it's really cool. If you're ever looking for like a chart for
Oh,
different
that's right.
colored
That's so
orbs
awesome.
Yeah.
that we have out
Colors.
there.
Yes.
So you
That
can
is so
analyze the
great.
color. You can analyze the color of the orbs that we have. But there's something. Well, and here's a good example too of what happens,
Oh, I have
especially
just like that.
around children. When you're around teens and children, there's a lot of orbs that usually appear because they like being around that young energy, and they're
Well, that
hanging
you
out
can
and
feel
playing
the
with
energy
them as
from the
well.
youngsters today too. I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Matthias. That young man that was
I
on
was
with
thinking
us a few
about that
times.
too. That Matthias, he's like
Yeah.
an indigo or a crystal or
Yeah,
something. You're
really.
like, whoa! This is. We
mean,
almost wish we could just like touch him.
He
so we
was
could
he
get
was
some of his
born
energy.
totally conscious.
Oh,
I mean,
totally. That is like chills.
me,
there.
I've got to
Yeah.
struggle to get there, but I'm getting there.
No, you are doing an excellent job. No,
Yeah.
you are amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing.
So
Well, we all are. I think we're all
Yes.
connected here.
Yeah.
so
We're
on
all here for a
YouTube,
reason.
Plastic Alley Cat reminded me of the picture that I had on in 5D on this article on the addendum. So what happened was I went to Sedona and I was at Boynton Canyon, and I went off the beaten path and found this one area where the energy was just off the charts. The hair was standing up on my arms, all over my body, and I was taking pictures of what I experienced, and this is what I experienced while at Boynton Canyon Vortex. Summer
Wow.
solstice, I felt a very strong presence, and it made my hair stand on end. I took several pictures of the juniper trees at this vortex and
Oh,
discovered
I
something
remember seeing that a long
very
time ago on one of
unusual when
your
I got
channels. Yeah.
Wow.
very unusual when I got back to my hotel room to download the pictures. I captured spirits in some of my pictures. This is one of them. Now,
Yep.
what we're looking at is this right here. And I zoom in on it. Check this out.
Okay, wait.
So I zoom in on it and I notice this orb.
Oh,
here.
oh yeah.
Oh,
And
I
what
get,
we're
I
looking
get that
at
all the
is-
time. I get that all the time. Oh
you
my
can see the
God.
profile
You got
of
the
somebody's
face?
Yep.
face right
Yep.
here.
Yep. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
And also you can see like this image as well. Like her eyes are right here.
Oh, I could totally see that. That's
Her
just
mouth is right
total-
there. Her hair is down here. Just like you can almost see like two pictures. Now, what really struck me about this picture and where it happened at Boynton Canyon, I did some research on it, and there's a woman. This is I'm going to butcher her name, Kamwikapia. I'm going to call it Kamwikapia, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to call her Kamwikapia because that's the best way I can pronounce
Boy,
that.
I'm glad you
I'm
did
butchering
that.
the crap out of her name. But
Yeah.
I became intrigued and started
Canyon.
researching the vortex when I got home from my vacation. Boynton Canyon
with,
said to be
so
the
blowing
shamanic crack
Kuya,
between
yeah,
worlds.
Kuya.
This largest
Goddess of
vortex of
Boynton
Sedona
Canyon.
activates a
man.
strengthening of one's spirit bond with the earth, renewing one's sense of purpose.
Oh, so
direction
that's
in
way
life.
cool because that's where we
Apache-
are.
Awesome.
The Apache believe this is the place where the first woman mated with the sun to start the human race.
Oh,
Wow.
Continued researching this and stumbled upon a webpage. According to records, this first woman, the K woman, Old Stone woman, originally came from Montezuma's well, where the Vapai had been living. Before the floods came, she was placed inside a hollow log along with a bird and some food. Then they sealed the log with pitch so she would float to a new place of safety to create the next world. It said
Wow.
that she landed in a high place in Boynton Canyon, where she lived in a cave. And it's just so cool that she ends up being in Boynton Canyon. And is it possible that
That's
is
her.
right there inside of an orb captured on a juniper tree at Boynton Canyon? So
oh yeah, totally,
Wow.
totally. No,
Pretty cool.
no, that's how you and I connected years ago because when you had shared, you don't even remember that, but you shared a picture, I shared a picture, and I'm like, oh my God, we were the only people I knew at that time that had faces and orbs that we said, look at this face, and the people were like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's totally cool. Because, like, is that like so are these orbs? Okay, Greg, this is my question to you and everybody. Are these faces and these spirits that we're seeing? Are these new people or are they old people? I mean, is that part of the ascension or is that spirits coming in? Or is it spirits going out? Or is it spirits that have always been here and they're just connecting with us? That's the question.
why couldn't it be both?
Well, I guess it could be. Yeah.
I think
I
it's
guess it
all of
could
the
be.
above.
Yeah, I get it's
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
Interdimensional.
All of the above.
It could,
Interdimensional.
yeah,
Better
it
answer.
could
Guides,
be,
it could be anything.
It could be,
Right.
Yeah.
other dimensional aspects of people, or beings,
Yeah.
or souls.
Right.
Yeah. I get that
So,
too.
soul beings. Soul beings. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
You know,
they're-
I was
they're-
reading an article a while back that was really interesting. I can't remember where I found it, but they were talking about this ascension process. They were talking about all the wars and all the diseases and people dying from shots and this and that, and that they're trying to take as many people off planet as possible out of physical form as they can, because they want to remove as many light spirits as they can, kind of like and it was the way it was explained was feasible.
Well, have you ever heard of the Georgia? There's some kind of
The Georgia Guidestones?
edifice
Yes,
in
the Georgia
where they're trying
Guidestones.
to reduce the number of humanity to 500 million total.
Yeah, I still haven't. I
And that's
still have
part
not.
of that. They're trying to keep
right.
us. They're trying to, because once we reach a
right,
tipping
Gary.
But
point,
why
which we're getting
though?
to.
But what is
Well, see, I know. I
obviously
still
there's
don't
got
know
to
if
be a
that's.
reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know. I still. Now, I did the study on the Georgia Guidestones, and I never did understand whether that had anything to do with the Mason.
Oh my gosh.
That's still always my question.
Sorry, this is a picture of me when I was first awoken.
Ta-da! Yay!
As you
No,
guys
thank
are talking
Gary.
about light bodies changing and different things, this
Oh, yeah.
picture is actually
Wow.
a negative aspect, and I just changed the contrast, and this was right after I meditated. And you
see,
can
so
tell
yeah, cool.
the
That's
difference between
insane.
the matrix changing who you are into a light body. So
Yep,
this
so
is
you're
like the
blue.
aura that's around my body, the light that's around my head, that's the aura. And then where my pineal gland, you can see the vibration from that, and
Oh,
it goes
yeah.
all the way through my cheeks, and then you can see the throat chakra actually open up into the chest cavity.
That is the coolest
So,
thing. That's better than mine. Mine is just like blinding white light, so that's cool. 'cause you can see your
But I
layers.
took a picture and I did negative on the phone, and then I changed the contrast pictures because your phones can actually do this, which is kind of weird.
Oh,
but-
really?
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm not from
Like,
this
totally
planet.
Stupid.
My soul origin is from Sirius, so A and B mixed together, just like the Ascended Masters and most of the archangels. But yeah, this is what I look like without this skin. So
That's cool.
this is my light body.
That is neat.
So, Des, did you see mine?
Yeah, that's so exciting.
I know. Of course, I don't have that layers, so maybe I'm like totally white and yellow. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Let's see if I could still go.
There's a metaphysical shop downtown that I just found that supposedly does those aura photography, and they give you a written report too. And I'm going to try that. I can't see auras, but I definitely sense people's energy, definitely. So I've always wanted to try to train myself, to be able to do that.
So Gary, when you go outside, here's something that you could try, because I didn't ever understand this either. But when you go outside, have you ever tried like looking up at the sky and looking like at a plant? And you just really stare at it for a long time, and there's almost like you can kind of start seeing an aura of blue around it. You have to really stare. I mean, you have to,
Well, unfortunately, my night vision, due to being diabetic,
not at night,
for almost
not at
40
night.
years.
No, go during the day. Yeah, go.
I haven't
during
done it during the day, no. So I got to try that. Okay.
Yeah, go during the day and just like look at a tree, and you think, well, you normally just look at a tree, but then like really look at it.
Oh yeah.
And then try to like see beyond the tree and just keep staring and staring and staring. Do you guys ever remember those I can't think of the thing of it. It was like a puzzle or whatever where you could like, it was all messed up and you would look at it and you could put your head back and it would turn into like an animal or a creature with the fence. I forgot what that was called.
Yeah, there was one.
Puzzle?
It was either an old woman or a horse, and some people saw one,
so you know
some
what I'm
people
talking
saw
about.
another.
Right.
I could go back and forth between. I could tell both ones,
Right. So when
That's
you do
kinda like
that,
what
go
I did
outside and
here.
try to do it with the tree. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
This is
I'll
what
give
I
it a
did.
shot.
Yeah, that's what I did
I'm going to
here.
meditate tomorrow morning, and I'll give that a shot.
Yeah,
I was
do
looking
it.
at the trees, and one of the if you actually zoom in on it or whatever, you're able to zoom in.
Awesome.
You can see
Love clouds.
there's hair, there's
Oh,
a
wow.
face right there.
Oh, I see a person there.
Well, I see a
Yeah.
face.
There's a
I see
halo,
a face.
and then there's giant wings on the
Yep.
side,
Yep.
and then his leg is
Yep.
walking right there.
Kind of looks like
But-
an
Yeah, we
angel
could see that.
crouching.
Yep.
But,
Archangel Michael, battle
that's-
angel.
Yeah.
And he's carrying a child, actually, if you see his arms right there. And there's a
Okay.
child in his arms, and he's looking ahead of him and with a child, or, this was in 2017, but that's what I do. I stare at the
Okay.
clouds, and the angels or my guides or whoever tell me, hey,
And
look at
then
me, take a picture.
Yep.
So,
Well,
look at me.
luckily,
Yep.
the universe has supplied me with what I need to do that. I have my portable scooter now, and I have a state park on top of a mountain about 1.5 miles away. I'm heading there the first sunny day, and I'm just going to spend all day out there doing cloud gazing, and just get back into nature.
Well, take pictures, Gary, and share with us, because that will be awesome, I'm sure.
Oh, I will.
Awesome, awesome.
So I'm doing something right now. What I'm doing, I just took a screenshot. Okay.
Oh.
All right, let me get this on
Okay.
everyone here. So share screen. We're going to Photoshop, and here we all are. And we're going to do a group negative. It's just see
Ooh.
colors that will come out of what people have on
Oh.
negatives.
Wow,
seeing-
that's cool. A
Yeah, it's
lot
like
of
seeing like a
wow.
purplish blue here for
Oh,
Desiree.
yeah.
And,
Oh, that is amazing.
Matthew with some
Wow.
greenish going on there, green there,
Look at
green there,
that.
I see a lot of
deeper
James
negative.
with
green.
his.
Yeah, and I got like
Cool.
greenish.
That's you. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so we got lots of
Yeah,
stuff
and then
going
you
on
can move
here.
the contrast, and then it'll show you where your energy is flowing from.
That's neat. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Look at the
Desiree, when you
energy
showed that-
on
when you
Oops.
showed
on
that
one
crystal
Oh
earlier,
side
my
that.
God.
of
Sorry about that.
everyone.
crystal earlier, Desiree, that resonated with me. The green, it really the energy from it picked up on it right away.
I wonder what's going on
Oh,
back here.
yeah.
Look at this stuff going on
I
behind
know.
Matthew. Let's all right.
It's
Let's
the light.
Well,
It picks up
it's the
light
light.
energy.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Light,
Oh,
yeah.
It's the
interestingly
light.
enough,
Okay.
It picks up heat frequency.
Oh, see, and I don't have any.
apartment about an hour before this chat started. So I'm willing to bet that there might have been some dark things back behind me up in the corners, because I've been really feeling a lot of negativity in my house. But since I smudged it, it's
Mhm.
like, wow, fresh air,
yeah.
you know?
And
So,
get some salt. Get some salt
oh
too,
yeah.
Derek.
I
Yeah.
have
I got my
Himalaya salt.
face
I also have,
plastered to my
yeah,
phone so I can see it.
yeah. I mean, I'm,
And I'm
you know,
like,
I'm all in on this stuff, on the crystals and all that kind of stuff, and smudging and intentions, and I real,
You know, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing to me because I can understand young people being into this, but it always blows my mind when older people are into it. I'm like, really? You are that open-minded? That is so cool. Oh,
Well,
mean,
a good
'cause,
way
you
to
know,
protect your house is there's two types of crystals you can use. There's selenite, so you can get a selenite wand and then get two citrine crystals and then put the selenite wand on top of your doorway and then put the two citrine on each side of that, and it helps protect and shield that doorway from anything like coming into your house. And then also one I do is I grind up some eggshells and then you scatter them around your doorway or windows. And it's almost just like salt, but eggshells also on the outside of your house. Bricks are really good. So black tourmaline on each four corners of your house. So just different types of way to help you guard and shield.
Yeah. I mean, I've cleared a lot of negativity out of this 2-bedroom apartment I'm in the last month or so, and it's like it's opened up everything. So.
Yeah, I have a couple selenite wands right here. Just got at the flea market. They're $1 a piece. That's cheap. For
Oh.
selenite.
You know,
$1.
Matthew, those are great if you have crystals to use as to making your own grids, so you can connect like 1-2 pieces of selenite with a crystal in between and just start gridding from that point forward.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
thought about that. Okay, cool. Yeah,
I used to
I got my
make
amethyst.
wands with
too.
my mom
Yeah.
for the local new age shop.
I have sage that grows out here that I pick when it's season, and there's a lot of people who sell it around here. I don't have any
yeah.
crystals yet though, but I got the sage and my bubble. I use my bubble.
Where'd everybody go?
We're
Use
trying
the
to
hair.
suck in
You know,
energy.
I was watching Gregg out there on the dock out there fishing, and I caught a catfish and I caught a crab, but nothing else. And I've got fish goo all over me. So
Where did you go?
I'm just out back. I'm over here in Town and Country in the backyard. There's like the boat docks. It's kind of cool. So you just kind of walk out there and throw your line in. It's really neat.
Yeah, probably a lot of catfish right there, I'd imagine.
Yeah. They said that there's
Yeah.
a ton of snook and I don't know, redfish, all this other fish that obviously I don't know how to catch. So we'll see. I'm gonna work on it. Come hell or high water this weekend, I'm gonna catch something cool.
He's so sweet.
Is everybody talked out?
Kind of.
Could be. You know, we're all introverts. It's hard for us all to talk a long time.
Exactly. I do have one thing. Galaxy, can you check your private message when you get a chance, please?
Who?
Is she still there? Galaxy? Where did we all go? That's funny. We all just left at the same time.
You left.
Hey, Greg, do one of those pictures. Can you do one of those pictures of just me? I want to see how you did that.
What did what?
How you made the negative?
Yeah.
Well, hang on. All right, say something and then I'll take a screenshot.
How's that? I'm talking.
I gotcha.
All right. I want to see. Get the phone plastered right in my face too.
So, let me go colors, negative. Okay. So let me do a screen share. I think you'll be surprised at how this came out. There you are.
Yeah. Smart Alex.
Sorry. That makes me laugh.
That's
you can't resist.
That is the worst tattoo ever.
The worst tattoo. It's a little
Some
dark.
bad ones.
It's a riot. That kills me. See, we could put you on there. There you go.
That's funny.
So let's go like that. And then
The shittiest picture
negative.
ever.
There
And
you are.
then you go to colors. Okay.
That's kind of how it was before. I had off to one side all that light. Why? The other picture did the
because
same
there's
thing.
darkness there and it's
I
the
see.
reverse negative image of it.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Which is why your hair would be, that lighter right there. But, still the face is emanating green, which is good. That's the color of the heart chakra. So,
Yeah, you'll need to do a full
Yeah,
background
cool.
with white and then do the negative, and then you can change the contrast to see where your energy is, see how vibrant your energy is coming from your pineal gland, like which, how it make the vibrancy of it. Because it'll show you how the it's going like waves, how the waves are coming off of you, like I did with the picture with me, and it'll show
Right.
you. It's pretty cool.
Can you do that contrasting thing with an iPhone? I mean, I know how to take a screenshot, but I don't know how to do the contrast and color scenario.
I'm sure
I
you
don't know.
can. I have an Android, so I don't.
I'd imagine. Yeah. I bet you there's programs that
I have an
apps that you can
iPhone.
do that
I'll
with.
try it right now. See, I'll let you
Okay.
guys know. I'll let you guys
Okay,
know.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Kim, I'm looking at you. You got like all sorts of action going on there with colors. Do you have one of those salt lamps that changes colors? Is that what I'm seeing?
No, I've got the TV on for extra lighting in my room.
Okay.
And my salt lamp is on the.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have one of those salt lamps that change colors. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah, I've seen those. My grandson licks it.
It would be cool. Somebody would make a lot of money if they could figure out a filter that you could buy for Photoshop and for PaintShop Pro and for Android and for Mac, iPhones, where you can take a picture and just throw that filter on the picture and automatically get that Kirlian kind of picture, the aura and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would make a lot of money if they can.
I wonder if Carell has it.
I don't know.
Carell used to be one of the best programs too. Now I think the new Paint Shop program is actually even better.
So have you ever
I wonder
seen
if my phone has that.
Kirlian photography, Greg? Have you seen Kirlian? I'm
Of
sure
course.
you have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've had it done several times on myself.
What is that?
It's a picture. It says basically capturing, the energy that you're emanating, and all sorts of layers from outside of your body as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before. I just didn't know the name.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
This still kills me. I want $100 bill. I'm going to print this thing up.
It
Hand
looks
out
like
$100
Ben
bills to
Franklin
people.
wearing a
Just
stocking
sad.
like he's a burglar.
I don't know. Yeah. I
Here's
don't
$100
know.
bucks.
I mean, like, I think temporary tattoos are fun, but can you imagine being in the nursing home having a tattoo? They're like, oh, what was that? What was that person thinking? No, that's gross.
This was
It looks like the nose fell off. Terrible.
Whoever did this one though is
Oh my
genius.
gosh.
That just makes my day. I love
And
it.
that's
nose
sad or something, their face is melting.
Makes me smile.
Oh my goodness. That would definitely be on target for a cover up, that's for sure.
I could see that on t-shirts. I could see a towel like that. Honestly, I would own that. I think it's funny as fuck.
If it was a towel, you wouldn't want that permanently.
I would buy a towel like that, a beach towel.
You could keep, you know what, Greg? You could keep people away with that. My favorite saying of the entire month was when you said, "Oh well, if we get on a plane, and who's going to be sitting next to us?" And you said, "No one's going to be sitting next to me." And I thought, "Oh, that's me." Yeah, because there's too much energy. Funny. So if you get a towel,
Think about it.
you'll be totally alone.
Think about it. If you bought a towel that looked like that, who's gonna steal it?
That's what I was
Nobody.
Who's gonna steal a towel
Who's
that
gonna
looks like
steal
this?
it?
Yeah.
If they did,
That would
it's
be
like,
the-
hey, I know
I'll
that's
be the
my
first
towel.
one to
Away
pass
from me,
out.
T-shirts. That's
There's
right.
always somebody that's gonna.
I need
Right
I
next to
need
the
permission
grocery
from this guy
store.
to market his tattoo. This guy can make a lot of money. We'll
Keep
split
away
it.
from me, T-shirts.
Oh my gosh.
Don't go over there. It's weird. Stay away. Yeah. That's hilarious.
I love you to death, Galaxy. You're awesome.
Ditto.
Okay, so you can't do it directly on an iPhone, but there's an app for it, obviously. So download an app and then you can take your picture and then throw it on the app and then do visual effects with that.
Oh, really?
That's the
Okay.
only
Can
way
I
you
take
can
a
do it
Can I
with an
take a
iPhone.
picture of myself when I was young? Then it would be okay. Yeah. I'm like a grandma now. I used to be young. If you could
When I was
believe
a kid.
that. When I was a kid. Thank you, Gary.
When I was a kid, back in my day, you
Oh,
young
God,
whippersnapper.
Gary, I love you. I know. When I was a kid.
Yeah, well, I figure I'm ahead of the game.
When I
as
was
long as I don't start
Desiree's
wearing
age.
white pants with the belt up right under
Oh,
my
that's
armpit,
Greg.
I'll
Oh,
be
that's
good.
so funny. Oh, I know. Well, Spirit couldn't come to me when I was young because I was too busy trying to daredevil and experiment. So I wasn't paying any attention. I was one of those kind of people that said, here, hold my beer while I jump off the roof. So I wasn't one of those kind of people. I
Yeah,
wasn't
famous
one of
last
those
words,
kind of-
hold my beer. Right?
That's right.
Been
Yeah.
there, done
When I
that, got
jump
the
off the
t-shirt,
roof,
literally. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna sail across the Royal Gorge. Okay, yeah, right. So now I'm calm.
Now everything just hurts, man. Everything hurts. Yeah, hold my beer so I can
I know. So
so I
now
can
we
get up.
need the med beds. Now we need the med beds. I was thinking about that the other day. When you go in and you have an MRI, think about how weird this is. It's magnetic resonance imaging. I mean, so hey, they're like seeing everything in your body through magnets. I mean, and when you go in and have an MRI, nobody's in the room. The people that do the MRIs are like, we'll be out here
Way
in the
up.
hallway. That's
Yeah.
right.
I get really, really
We'll be
sick
over
from
here
MRIs.
behind the wall. Don't come in here. Yeah. So, wow, how weird. I mean, think about that. So that's the future technology is good. Everything's
Yeah.
going to be magnetic.
Welcome to my life.
Way.
Everything.
EEGs all the time. MRIs.
You know, they were talking about these healing beds too. You guys are
Med beds.
familiar with that, correct?
Med beds.
Yeah,
Med beds?
where are they? They're still up in Elysium. Let's
I
bring them down
know.
here. Come on, buds. Time. Your soon and my soon are not the same soon. My soon is like now.
I think
Yeah.
I think there are some down here, but we don't have enough money.
Oh,
I don't think
that's
that that's for us quite yet.
because it shouldn't be about money. It shouldn't be about
No,
money.
it
Because
shouldn't.
really what it is about spirituality and imagination.
No,
what
it's all about control at this point, and who's
Yeah, well,
winning.
Well, we're winning.
And I think
We're
they
winning.
understand that they're losing
That's right. We're
quickly.
winning. We're winning.
We're winning. They're just
Yes,
putting
we're
up
winning.
a fight. Yeah.
We're winning. No, because I remember a long time ago when, I know this sounds crazy, the Galactic Federation of Light. I mean, you guys can't even imagine me coming downstairs and telling my husband, "Oh, the Galactic Federation of Light told me this." He's like, "Okay, let me
Yep.
check your coffee."
Yeah.
Yeah,
we sound like
I
a
want
total
what she's
crackhead over
having.
here.
Yeah, Galactic
Right?
Federation of Light told me this is going to happen and that's going to happen. He's like, sure, babe. But but they really are in control, and
Yep.
and they can't really do anything to change our timeline. I mean, that's kind of like the I don't know. They can't really do anything to change our timeline. Like I was telling Greg that song, Time Keeps Slipping into the Future. Well, you guys have all seen Back to the Future, right? Okay, so you can't really do anything to change the timeline because every effect has or wait, how did they tell me? Every action has a reaction. So every effect has an effect, right? So they can't change the timeline, but they can guide us to try to change our own timeline. And they want it to be positive because if we ascend, they ascend because they're above us. So that's why they're trying to help us. The ones that are positive are trying to help us because they're above us. Like we're here, they're there, and if we go up, they go up. But they can't really affect our timeline because that's like verboten. So they can't do that. So sorry, I don't know why that came to me. Please, somebody.
Well, isn't that what the Hadron Collider is for?
Well,
To
I
try
don't know
and
about that. No, I
try
don't
and
know.
manipulate that.
You think so? I don't know. I think the Hadron Collider is, to me in my personal opinion, the Hadron Collider is men that are trying to get a scientific basis for the truth. I mean, they
I think
cannot
they're trying to use
accept
it for nefarious purposes, and every
well,
time they try to do it,
that too. To
I mean,
bring
look
in
at they
dark
have Shiva
matter.
out in front of it, for Christ's
I
sake.
know, I saw that.
You know, there's
and that
something
is
not
actually
right about the
negative.
whole situation. They are trying to use it for nefarious purposes,
That
but
is
every
kind
time
of
they do,
negative.
something always comes up and stops it.
Oh
So
yeah. Like
they're
the
not
weasel,
allowed.
like the weasel that
Our,
got in
our
there and
galactic
chewed the
neighbors and
wires.
friends are not allowing us, not allowing them
Right.
Right.
to kill us, basically.
Right.
Right. It's
Great.
verboten. Forbidden.
Right.
I mean,
So-
that is the, because, you cannot do that. That's all based on magnetism too. I mean, when you get right into that, CERN is magnets. I mean, that's all magnets.
Right.
And so I think it's people fooling with things they shouldn't be fooling with. It's like they're trying to open Pandora's box and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, and this is like the nature of man humanity to do this, to try to get into things that they don't know what they're getting into. It's like, taking apart a clock or taking apart a machine to see how it works or whatever. Well, that's all well and good, but that isn't necessarily the way it's supposed to be. And I think you're right, Greg.
So
We're not
I'm
supposed
gonna
to be.
I'm gonna interject into this. So back in
Oh, good.
2000 and let me think what year it was. Where was I? It was in Nebraska. It was before I came to Florida. 2016. I had to sit and think about it. There were they had the I can't say it, Hadron Collider in Switzerland, and they have
Right.
cameras all over the city.
Right.
And they were testing it out, and I had done I don't know, I think it was 3 or 4 days straight watching the city. Something happened, and there was no cars, there were no humans, there was nothing, there was nothing. And then obviously you have to sleep. I woke up one morning and I went straight to the computer, and on the top, so there by the main airport, there was like a parking garage, and on top of the parking garage they had thousands and thousands and thousands of those massive plastic coffins all over the roof.
Oh, yeah. No.
And then a few days later, you started to see UN vehicles. And that was it, on the roads. And then you started to see people in the streets again. Also, I had taken screenshots, and there was, those cigar-shaped UFOs? Those really long, skinny ones?
Yeah.
There was one that was down by the entrance on the ground, landed. My oldest son, he was the only one curious enough that could last long enough, sat and watched it all with me. He saw the same thing. I believe there's a YouTube video, and I'll have to dig it up, and it's super long, but you can go through it and you'll see exactly what I did. But we sat and watched this whole thing unfold. And yes, eventually you started seeing people walk around. But what I was wondering was, you could clearly see there was an explosion. And on the outside of this big, humongous dome that was over by the airport, it was just black soot coming out everywhere. And then that's where that one cigar-shaped UFO was landed on, right next to it. Amazing stuff. And I got to watch it live on their city cameras, just like the UPass cams up there in Woodland Park, Colorado. You can sit and watch what's going on in the city. It was the freakiest thing. And then that was when I really started getting into watching Gregg at that time. I was like, yeah, some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
See, there's a lot of internment camps all around the world, and they do have these coffins. Actually, the coffins are made for like 6 people or so. You can put that many people in there. They're planning on having this kind of mass kill off, basically. But
so who
what
are
they did,
they?
the elite, the global elite, those that probably were the ones responsible for creating the Georgia Guidestones, getting the population down to 500 million. Problem is that, if anything, these internment camps are going to be for them, not us. And it's not going to come down to that. There's absolutely nothing.
You're totally right, because they're not going to get away with it. That's what the ETs and my guides have told me. Even the thing with the dumbs, because you were talking about that earlier on another
Those will be
video
their coffins.
Yeah, they're like they can't escape that. But they think they can escape that. They can't escape that, because actually the prize is the people that have the most open souls and hearts. Because the prize that we have is the thing that the ETs can't really understand. It's our soul and our spirituality, and it can't be touched. And so it's like something that's it's like this etherical thing that nobody really they don't understand it. They don't understand it. It's like a big mystery. And so they want a piece of that and they can't really have it. And so the dumbs, just because you're elite doesn't mean you're going to be safe. I mean, yeah, they told me, well, they're not going to be saved. There's no special thing with if you have money. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
too, the elite is so far gone in their beliefs that that's what they think that they are,
Right.
and they're really not. They literally believe that money is their power. They have no clue what power is.
Right.
They're forceful, but they're
Power
not
versus force. Yep.
Power versus force. It's a good book, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
Makes me wonder about like these blood drives they have, the elite
Yeah,
are
don't go
actually
there.
harvesting the blood for themselves.
Here's some money.
Chrome
Can you
kind of
see
thing.
that? I owe you. Here's some money. Money. I know blood drive's scary. So scary.
Yeah.
23andMe. What do you think they're doing with that DNA, Greg? Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, that's not good. There
I
are
know.
ways
No.
to circumvent the 23andMe, and
Yeah.
if you really, because anyone that wants to get that done, you can do it. And there's a simple way of doing it, and that would be by putting $200 onto a card, right? And then using that card to buy a track phone. You're only going to use that track phone for 1 month. So you get that track phone and you create a fake email account to go along with it. And so now you have a phone number, basically a fake phone number and a fake email account that you're only going to use one time. That's how you apply for this. You take your test, you pay cash for the test. So there's no record of you paying for it. And then you go via the email to get your results of the test after you send it in. And you use the phone number for the confirmation. And after that, you get rid of the phone number, you get rid of the email, you never use either one again. And you can find out what your heritage and what your history is via.
So they can't track you?
Yes.
Well, or
I'm
use
B
your
negative,
DNA for
so-
other nefarious whatevers. I mean,
Use
we
a
don't
fake
know.
name, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with all that CRISPR technology and everything, I wouldn't want to put any of my stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
As a matter of fact,
don't
if I were going to go that far, I would probably use a library computer. So
Yeah.
your IP is
Yeah.
not going to be.
well, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. To use a library computer.
Well,
so
here's a little bit of trivia about my lineage. So my grandfather, which is the Russell family, on my mom's side, we did the lineage, and it was traced all the way back to the Russell family with the Illuminati. My cousin Ray actually did the tracing back. My grandfather is O negative. My grandmother is B negative. Every boy in the family on that side, on my side, my children as well, every boy is O negative. Every female is B negative. And we've got some weird lineage on both sides of the family, but I don't know if
they usually pay
that's
for
where a lot of these
negative
gifts
blood.
have come from.
Right. No, I don't think so, Rhonda. That makes you unique. O negative blood is like super.
I'm not an O negative. I'm a B negative.
Oh, okay. Well, anybody in the family that's an O, that's like valuable blood. That's really a rare blood type. I mean, it's not Rh negative, but it's
O
more
is
valuable
not
for
actually
humanity.
A is the most rare, and then B and O is actually the most used as far as the negative types, but it's the most common. O's are tracked though by the government for some reason, whether it be positive or negative. But the negatives are all tracked. All the negative blood types are tracked. So, all my children are gifted. They all have their own gifts.
it's kind of been a really wild ride once we found out all this information about the family, and it just kept compiling and compiling and compiling. You know, so I don't know. It's just a little bit of trivia. Interesting information.
What about RH negative blood?
I'm a B negative. That is RH negative. So it's the
RH
research
negative people never get sick. My sister, I'm adopted, so it's not my blood type, but my sister's RH negative, and my God, she's like 20 years younger than me, and she never gets sick. So they're like live forever eternally. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't take medications like normal people can. They actually make me sick. Yeah, there's a lot of things that like most people can do or I cannot. I will say that living in Arizona for the last 8 months that I was so hoarse, my lungs were so affected that it wasn't until I got to Mississippi and I could smell the ocean air that I opened up and I could breathe.
Yeah, you probably need the humidity. It's pretty dry here in southern Colorado. We have a humidifier going all winter because it's pretty dry here. So yeah.
The elevation was pretty insane. That was the healthiest I've ever felt in my entire life.
In
and
Arizona?
That was one thing that in Colorado. When I was up in Woodland Park, we were at 8,600 feet. And at that level, your red blood cells are just pumping out.
Yeah.
They're constantly reproducing. So therefore, you don't get sick. And it was the healthiest I had ever felt in my entire life. And that was one thing that I can truly say about Colorado. It was the most phenomenal experience. I lived there for 2 years and I loved it.
It's so expensive. It's like California number 2, like flight attendant
very
was
expensive.
saying. It's
now
so
it is.
Yeah, it's like we call it Californicate. Don't Californicate Colorado. It's because it's I mean, a lot of Californians they Nevada and it's like yucky, so they just come all the way over here, and it's made it expensive to live here. But I can tell you, my guides told me I wanted to move. I wanted to move to a warmer climate. And my guides are like, nope, sit tight. And so then I wanted to move up north to like Fort Collins or Denver, and they're like, nope, too much military, nope. I'm like, okay, well, it's expensive to live here, and they're like, nope, don't move. So we're not one of the best safe states, but
it's so beautiful. They have like 40,000 miles of trails there. 40,000 miles. And just a whole bunch of people. And the streams, when you're taking the four-wheelers up in those trails, you see the streams, you can see gold in it. Big, humongous chunks. Very cool stuff. I really enjoyed it there.
Rhonda,
but you can't afford to live there. It's all military.
It's
and what do they do with the military? They don't pay them squat in those towns. So therefore, nobody else gets paid squat.
It's expensive to live here. I don't understand why we have so many homeless people, because if I was homeless, I'd be in Nevada. I mean, I would go somewhere where I could sleep on the street or the beach or whatever. I would never come to this cold climate. So
especially this winter. I mean, this is the winter.
Yeah, this winter.
This winter. Yeah, it's like the 80s used to be, like it used to be. Not that I mean, I lived in Colorado for 45 years.
And do you
and
ever remember it being this cold? Never.
Well, I'm not back there yet this year, but it's interesting what you just said about the move. Yeah, I've been keeping track because we just bought a home that I haven't even seen yet. Basically I've been in bed for 4 years because of Ascension, and I'm in bed now. But I used to live in Elizabeth or near Elizabeth, and
I know where that is.
Yeah, so my husband's been flying back and forth, and it's a story, but the short version is now we're down in Florida, but he's been flying back and forth because I do have the best of both worlds, except I live in bed, so I don't get to use I don't even want to go there. Anyway, the point is, this house came up for bid, and Butch he does everything. So he flew back there, and we had the house in 3 days. And it turns out that this house is like a half a mile, if not less, from the house I lived in Elizabeth for 20 years. And we used to live up and down the Front Range, all over everywhere, from, Brisk Canyon down. And we looked this time all the way up and down the Front Range, and this is the house that comes up. Well, it's weird because in a lot of ways, because I still haven't been there. It's all remodeled, but now they have this wonderful inspector that has to inspect every little cotton picking thing. And it still has not gotten its final inspection. Not that we give a blankety blank, but on the other hand, I don't want to get on the wrong side of the law either, but nor am I prepared to move yet. But the point I'm getting at, I just lost. My guides have continually told me that I need to get back there. And now and more and more since January 1st, the energies have changed so much. I mean, we were getting brand new energies onto the planet that we have never, ever, ever seen. This planet has never seen the last few months. Yeah.
You are right. We are getting energies that we have never seen.
Never seen. Right.
That's right.
And
No,
since January, and since January 1st, even more new energies, plus we're revisiting some of those new energies the end of the year. And because of it, I mean, everything my work has gone smoother. I'm still in bed. I still look, from all outside appearances, it looks the same. But I can clearly feel this work that would have in the last 4 years.
Been impossible? No. Yeah.
No, well, yeah, in my mind, it's been impossible. But I mean, my husband is always guarding me, and I always have a pillow ready and he's always, some nights he dresses and sleeps because it's been at a point where I've been screaming my head off a lot the last 4 years. But since the first of the year, that's only happened a very few times. So, but this work is even deeper and deeper than it's been in the last 4 years, and yet it's going much smoother. But my point, I'm sorry, I'm tired, like Gary was saying earlier. I'm wiped out. My point is, my guides are still continuing to say, be back in Colorado by mid-March at the latest. And it's something to do with, and I've heard everything that you've been saying about Colorado, and I've been watching the weather and all that, and I don't want to go.
The weather isn't great, but it should be by now. It should be.
I know it should be, but
The
it's
thing
not.
is too about Florida, you're leaving the best time of the year
I
in
know,
Florida.
it's great. I know. And you know what? I mean, this is, well, let me finish my point and then I'll go back to that. It's funny. That part is funny, but it's another, I guess, meant to be. But my point, what was my point? Oh, we're being told to go back because my old house plus this new one is almost directly south of DIA. You know where Elizabeth is. And
yes, I do.
And you're in southwest Colorado, like down by Durango or somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so there's a ley line that runs from DIA down. And I started my awakening process, though I didn't really know it. It wasn't one of those, one day or one way and one day or another. It's been a slow, so painful process. And anywho, I was told then that I was worried then about the ley line situation. And I asked, is that part of the issue with me then? And it was, but I didn't know enough to, do anything about it. So now we're being called back to deal with that ley line. And also, and again, I end up I told this to you, Greg, last time I was on here. I'm saying things I maybe shouldn't say on Zoom, but it's something about Tesla for my husband's work and me with the ley line
Tesla
situation.
country.
Yeah, and for sure. And
369, that's the key.
369, okay.
369, yep, that's Tesla's magic number.
Okay.
It's the key to undivisibility infinity. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's cool, because I truly, because of what I've been through the last 4 years, all that I can do is keep about 1/8 of one nostril above one water line. And so I used to love learning every single thing. I used to be, and not just because I was, but I was a straight A student all my life, but it's because I love to learn. I never spent time studying. I don't know how I got my A's. I never studied, but I love to learn. And this last 4 years has been one of the reasons it's been so hard, is because I have not been able to open a book. I can hardly, I don't, it's too much for my brain, because most all of my ascension stuff has been brain, endocrine system, just unbelievable. But the thing is, so I don't know, I know the general gist on obviously about Tesla and the ley lines and stuff, but I just keep getting told over and over, and I'm like, so here's the funny part. We were on Longboat Key for 2 months because we couldn't find, we'd been like moving from condo to condo on AMI, and we couldn't find one for December, January. So we went down to Longboat because I wasn't ready to go back to Colorado, and the house wasn't ready. And so he has the budget rent the truck, the big truck. I mean, literally the biggest one they've got, loaded up with all the crapola that we still have left down here, because we moved like 16 times in the last 4 years. It's been unbelievable. And not just from condo to condo, house that we bought to house that we bought. It's been a bizarre story of bizarre stories. And he had it all loaded up, and they were waiting at our grandkids' house in the morning just for the car hauler to show up to haul his Leaf that he's wanted so bad and hasn't been able to drive. And it's late, and all of a sudden I pick my phone up, and I didn't open it up, but I picked my phone up, and there's realtor.com, and there's a condo where we have been staying, and it's a lower level unit. And I wanted lower level because I want a doggy. I'm from Colorado. I've been an animal lover since the day I was born. And because of all of this stuff, Miss Kitty is the last animal that we had. And, she passed in 2016. So it's been really hard. On the other hand, I haven't been ready for one. So I wanted a lower level, and I wanted to grow my own food, and you can't do that on a second floor condo. So all of a sudden I open it up, there's a lower level. In 18 months we've been down here, there hasn't been except one lower level opened up, and it closed the next day before we even knew it was there. And my husband's a broker. He doesn't do he does conservation work. He doesn't do only our own, real estate. So the moral of the story is all of our stuff is in Colorado, and we are still here, and I don't want to go. But I love, both of you guys that have been talking about Colorado. I got to live on Kauai for a year, and I used to say, what else is there between Colorado and Hawaii? Well,
right.
Florida is Florida.
San Diego, but nobody
San Diego. Well, that's just it. And Florida.
New Mexico.
Well, that's true. New Mexico is nice. But I don't claim Florida. I claim these islands. They're so different than Florida is, and they're closest to Hawaii that I had no idea. And so, and I can't, I can't fly these days. I retired from United, but I can't fly, so we have to drive back and forth. And I'll shut up because I think I got to my point about we're being drawn back, just like you said.
It's expensive. That's all I can tell you is expensive now.
Well,
Very expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. This is a terrible thing to say because, you know, I love Colorado and I grew up here, but I have lived a lot of other places. But it's expensive here because, like I said, a lot of Californians are moving here, and because of the marijuana thing.
Marijuana, exactly.
It made
That's
it
the
appealing.
thing that went up. That's
And I
the
feel
thing.
so sad because
Pretty soon all the states are going to be legal, so that's not even a.
I hope so. I hope so
Sucks
because
about
it's ridiculous.
Colorado.
Yeah.
I think there's 39 states that it's legal now.
They
No,
have
go
a
ahead,
rule
James.
that you
Go
can't
ahead.
catch your own water.
Well, you know, I think that's kind of a gray area now. I mean, we've
Yeah,
always
I'm
done it
hoping.
anyway, but I think it's kind of a gray area. I think they're
Right.
trying to. It doesn't matter because it doesn't rain enough here. So I mean, you could put a rain barrel out and just look at it for 3 years waiting, unless you're in
Well,
Aspen, you know,
at
and then
my
you're not gonna
house,
have a
when
growing
I'm
season
done-
there anyway.
When I'm done building this weird house I'm building with an RV and a cabin and everything.
See, where you're living is really good weather, James, in Candy Kitchen.
Let him finish his thought.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
That's
So
okay.
for every inch of roof that I have that I build, or for every square feet, or what? How does it work? Okay, for every inch of rain, hold on. So 1,000 square feet of roof, every 1 inch of rain, you get 600 gallons of water.
Yeah.
And so I'm shooting for a 200 square foot house that's, you know, it's including a greenhouse and everything. And so that will fill up more water than I'll ever need. And it really works. And we don't, you know, it's New Mexico where I'm at. I don't get a lot of rain, you know, so.
How does that work with the evaporation, though, of the water that you end up accumulating?
You store it in cisterns. And I'm going to be building one out of aircrete, and it'll be able to store about 12,000 gallons. I'm going to build 2 of them actually. And yeah, I know a lot of people out here who have been doing this longer than me that already have it set up, and it's the better investment because if you try to dig a well, it's $20,000 and you may not get water because of where we're at. So if you build $20,000 worth of square footage, which there's no codes, anything, you can do whatever you want out here. Just build it strong, you know, and you know, and one of the benefits is I can sit here and take my socks off.
Lost the audio from you.
Yeah, can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I have the floor I'm sitting this chair on in between the RV and the shed is dirt. I'm gonna put rock in, but right now it's just dirt while I'm building. And but I can ground myself right here in my home, no matter what the weather, no matter what the temperature. I don't know. That's why I really wanted to go to Colorado, because those peaks are beautiful. But the
You probably
cost
get
is
more
just
rain
out
than we
there.
do. Right. You get more rain than we do, and your weather is actually better there.
We got like 11.
You gotta enjoy the snow. Come on. It's not that bad. You know what? I loved Colorado. I loved it. If it wasn't Minnesota, like 56, 46 below, but when it would snow like 2 and 3 feet. You gotta love that. And then it would melt right
you
away.
Don't. No,
It
no,
would
you
melt
don't.
right away.
You never had to go out and live in 2 or 3 feet of snow for an extended period of time, like
Thank
2 or
you,
3
Gary.
months.
I loved it. Oh my God.
With no way to
thank
get
you.
clean and no way
Syracuse,
to change
Oneonta.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
My-
Oneonta,
the
upstate
way,
New
the
York.
way
It
I
just
enjoy
makes the
snow
4-wheel drive
now,
that much more fun, man.
the way I enjoy snow now is I stand inside by the fire and I go, oh, look at the snow outside. Isn't that nice?
I pay a teenage boy that comes by $10 to do our shoveling.
Sorry.
So
but,
if I could
for you,
afford
I'm
to
like,
live in
yes,
Colorado, that's where I
$10.
would be right now.
Oh, well, thank you.
I loved
Rhonda.
it that much.
I'd be in Hawaii. I'd be
Me
in Hawaii.
too,
I was
man.
stationed there 4 years in the Marine Corps, and if I could have like an island like that, but with
Yeah.
like 99%
Hawaii.
less people,
Totally.
I would be in Hawaii because
All
the
right.
sun, you got sun all the
Yeah,
time,
Yeah.
sun,
my little
and
island.
you have perfect weather all
Water,
year round.
water.
And everywhere you go, you can just if you had the island to yourself or to less people, you just walk around and pick fruit all day
Yep.
long.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
That would be awesome. And
Pahoa.
there'd be enough water. Yay!
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of new people that are in YouTube. Don't be shy. You can come here and chat with us.
I
Yeah,
put a
it's
link on
great.
my Facebook.
And I do love seeing these new people coming in. Also, I want to remind people that there is, be sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification button to make sure that you get alerted for videos like this, as well as follow me on Twitter, because I'll put posts there. If you're not on Facebook, right now I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't post any links. So you got to either get the links from
Gosh,
Twitter
Greg, did you have
or
an opinion?
Patreon. So
Darn.
yeah, that's okay. It's all good.
As many years as I've been posting, and a lot of people that are in my group, they know the controversial stuff that I post. I've never been put in Facebook jail, Greg. That's why when you got put in jail, I was laughing. I was like,
It
oh, what
sucks.
do you do?
I'm not happy about that. I also want to give a shout out to
Yeah.
Jennifer and Derek, who, while we've been having this chat, they both bought tie-dye t-shirts. So thank you for that. And
Yay.
Jupiter on Patreon, who joined us on Patreon as well. So thank you for that.
And
as
so, did you tell them? Make sure to tell
No,
them.
Gary's been sitting in here for
Those
a while
shirts
and
are
hasn't said
awesome. I
anything.
have like 5
Gary
of
has.
them. They're awesome.
Gary has some. Yep.
Yes, you do.
Magic dust.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So
Hmm.
throw those shout outs to everyone. I think what I'm going to be doing, though, is we've been on pretty close to over 3 hours again. First, I want to say hi to Ailina, who finally came in. Were you
I
working
just
tonight?
got off work.
I figured.
It's the Daytona 500 down here. It's slammed from the
Yeah.
Daytona 500 races. And apparently Trump's coming down tomorrow. So, and I work
Okay.
tomorrow too.
Yeah, your name came up in the conversation today. So if your ears were ringing.
No, I was at work. I was at work and I did feel like, I felt awesome. It was slams and I wasn't in a bad mood, which is crazy because usually I get mad when there's so many people. But yeah, what do you guys say about me?
Oh, well, we took a picture of you and it came out
Oh,
like
an
this.
aura picture. We were doing aura pictures. We were checking out people's auras. You would love
I'm
it.
kidding.
No,
I'm
he's just
kidding.
joking.
You missed this though. I want to get a towel of this. Supposedly Benjamin Franklin, but yeah.
Oh,
But anyway,
bad
take
tattoo
a
artist.
picture of the group.
The worst tattoo artist I've ever.
Thank you, James.
But this
Oh my
was the group
Oh,
negative, or so we're trying to get, I can monkey with this somehow and hopefully draw out some more colors through the contrast and everything like that, and see what I can
Alina,
end up
I
with.
went to your Facebook. I went to your Facebook chat thing, Space Cadets. So
Mine,
thank you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you like it?
I did. I've kind of been talking to you on there, but I'm under my husband's name on there, so you won't know who I am. So I'm not
I
gonna say
haven't been
that.
on today, but you never know if it's me or my sister because both of us are the admin, so we're both space cadets in the morning.
Oh,
My sister.
I love the photos. I went to the Eye of God Nebula. That was my favorite. So thank you.
That was me. I was
Thank
researching.
you.
Yeah, and all the sunrise
awesome.
pictures are me from down here
Thank
in
you.
Florida. I'll
Thank
get on
you,
your
I know
next
that.
one if you're doing a new spirit chat, Greg. I'll get on the new one too.
Probably
Okay, cool.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay!
Probably.
Thank you, Greg. By the
Thank
way,
you. Thank you, guys. Thanks,
for giving
Galaxy.
us.
Yeah. My
Oh,
pleasure.
man.
And yeah, once again, just want to thank everybody that has bought t-shirts at n5d.net. That's helps me immensely, and I appreciate that. And for those who are members on patreon.com/n5d that have joined up, my Patreon family, thank you, because that helps us have this format of Zoom and being able to reach everyone. So thank you
Awesome.
for all that. So we'll be back on tomorrow. I'm going to wrap it up at this
Okay.
point right now. I want to thank everyone for joining us, both here in Zoom and on YouTube. And I encourage maybe tomorrow some of you guys on YouTube that have been a little quiet, come over and introduce yourselves. We don't bite. We're easygoing. And
Yeah, I just joined 2 days ago, so come on over, guys.
see how easy
Awesome.
it is? Yeah, exactly.
Awesome lucid dreams to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
same to
I
you.
hope that
Yeah.
Allow the positive energies.
let us know
Yep.
how your dreams come out tomorrow after you guys have been, enthralled with this wonderful conversation that everyone's been chipping in on. And I hope that you guys do all have amazing dreams tonight.
Well,
So,
we were with you, so they should be awesome.
so until the next time, this is Greg from n5d.com sending you all infinite love and light. See you tomorrow. Namaste.
All right,
Namaste.
guys.
Greg.
Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.
Everyone.
Sleep well, everyone.
Yes, you
Bye.
too.
Yes.
Bye.